September the 9th, you're watching CTV Morning Live. Thank you so much for being with us. Ainsley McPhail is live at the Delnavert Museum this morning. It's a really great place to visit. It's a Victorian-era mansion that was built right in the downtown here. So she's going to get a tour of the place and also tell us about some of the programming and some of the fun things you could do there this fall. But first, your headlines. Bus blues, why some say the new transit route revamp needs a bit more of a rethink now that school is back. Water infrastructure projects. A new survey among Manitobans says ratepayers shouldn't be the only ones on the hook. And it's time to do the time warp again as a cult classic celebrates a milestone anniversary with some special showings. All right, bringing in Terry now. Look at us.
Rochelle, you look good today.
Look good. The blue is nice on you.
We knew this day would come. We laugh about it every morning when sometimes Rochelle would walk in and be like, oh, I almost wore that today. Oh, well, here we are.
Today's the day. And this is what I envisioned from the sky today. Is it going to happen?
Oh, yeah, you're right about that. It might be a little bit foggy first thing, or we might see some fog developing, but then after that, beautiful blue sky, plenty of sunshine expected. It's 8 degrees right now. There is no wind whatsoever. That pressure rising with the humidity sitting at 100%. I even noticed that calmness on my way into work this morning. I was sitting in a cab and I cruised past right in front of Great West Life. They've got all of those flags and they were just limp and hanging there, and like not even a little wiggle with the flags. So the breeze will be on the lighter side throughout the day today. The temperatures are going to be climbing higher than they've been. And yes, clear sky expected. Plenty of sunshine across the province. All of us will be in for mainly sunny conditions today. And not just today, it's going to then remain clear overnight and for tomorrow as well. And if you missed the full moon last night, it's not quite in its fullest stage. It's starting to get a little blurred edge, but it is still looking beautiful and bright out there. And again, another clear day, clear night ahead. What day are we at now? Today is Tuesday, so by Wednesday, still looking very clear. Even Thursday, in fact, fair bit of sunshine. However, by Thursday night, that's when we're going to start to see the next bit of activity showing up. So there you can see parts of northern Manitoba. Thursday morning, we'll see some of that. Here in the south, it'll likely be Thursday evening, overnight, and lingering into Friday. So it does still look like we're going to get a little bit of a soaking by the end of the week. But in the meantime, just soaking up the sunshine and the beautiful temperatures to go with it. 19 degrees, that would be normal for this time of year. We're looking to be up in the mid-20s as far as we can see.
Thank you, Terry. With summer vacation in the rearview mirror, students and others are riding the bus for the first time since transit switched to a new system. The promise was frequent and simplified service, but as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, the reality is proving to be mixed.
Rush hour and schools are back in full swing. It's a big test for Winnipeg Transit's new system that started rolling at the end of June.
Very frustrated about it. I also took the bus a while ago, and it was 30 minutes late here, 30 minutes late at my transfer, and then it took me 15 minutes to walk.
Phoenix Whitman is a University of Winnipeg student. He says his previous commute was one bus and 45 minutes long. Now
it takes 2 buses and over an hour and 15 minutes.
CTV News spoke with several bus riders. The issue most brought up was having to take more buses to get to their destinations, meaning more transfers.
Now I have to take like 3 buses, and that's kind of a struggle for me.
Now with the new routes, I'm now taking 2 buses to classes every day. It's a lot faster, which I appreciate, but it would be nice to not have to worry about a transfer or missing a bus.
Others say the new system is working just fine.
I was a little bit scared for my first year, but yeah, it gets me around and where I need to be.
Now I take the FX4 and it like drops me right beside my house, so it's good for me.
Transit has said the point of the overhaul is to improve service and update a system meant for the 1950s and 60s. The routes are now designed as a spine and feeder system. Transit says the buses on the spines or primary network in blue are frequent and direct and should get riders to places faster. The buses on the feeder routes in gray run through neighborhoods and connect to the spine, but don't go downtown or to congested areas, so they should be on time. Transit says it will be monitoring the new system and taking feedback from riders over the next year in order to make small tweaks and major changes that might be needed. Feedback about our new network is valued. We want detailed, constructive criticism about what's working and what's not. And while the riders we spoke to hope changes are coming for the better, most said they would not want to go back to the old way.
It was definitely a change, but I think it will be good for us in the long run.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The victims of last week's stabbing spree are expected to be released from hospital in the coming days. 8 people were severely injured in 2 homes on Hollow Water First Nation Thursday, including an 18-year-old woman who died. The suspect, who was the woman's 26-year-old brother, died after the stolen vehicle he was driving collided with an RCMP cruiser responding to the attack. The officer was also hospitalized. No word yet on her condition, but RCMP previously said she was expected to survive. On Monday, Shared Health said one of the victims from Hollow Water First Nation was discharged Sunday, and the other 2 should follow suit this week. The rest were discharged last week. The Association of Manitoba Municipalities is putting pressure on Ottawa to step in with funding for water infrastructure. The AMM released the results of a probe research poll showing 8 in 10 Manitoba respondents believe the feds should help pay for things like water treatment plants and sewer pipes as a way to boost housing. The group says this echoes what its members have been saying for years, that plans to address the housing crisis are being stymied by a lack of funding for water and wastewater systems.
Because there's no sense building a home if it doesn't have water in it and if you can't flush a toilet in it. So they go hand in hand, and we don't want, a one-size-fits-all funding. We want there to be specific to the needs of municipalities. And if we want to build Canada, if we want to grow Manitoba's economy, it starts with water and wastewater projects.
The online survey of 1,000 Manitoba adults took place between July 24th and August 11th. It cannot be assigned a margin of error as the respondents were not randomly chosen from the general population. The City of Winnipeg will consider acquiring some West Elmwood property to turn it into a community gathering space. The city is looking at 2 lots at the corner of Henderson Highway and Johnson Avenue. The late City Councillor Jason Schreier came up with the idea to create a community meeting space featuring an entertainment stage, a food rescue operation, transitional housing, and eviction prevention services. The city would develop the space with the help of the Chalmers Neighborhood Renewal Corporation. Right now, the plan is still in the idea phase. The Standing Policy Committee on Property and Development will hear a verbal report on how much the idea would cost at its upcoming meeting Friday. A warning now about a sexually suggestive letter we are about to show you, allegedly written by Donald Trump to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. It was released Monday by Democrats on the U.S. House Oversight Committee. This is the first time this image has been made public, though the contents of the letter were already known. The words written inside a drawing of a woman's body was part of a 2003 album compiled for Epstein's birthday and ends with the line, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." Trump has denied writing the letter and drawing the picture. Israel has ordered all residents in Gaza City to get out immediately as it intensifies strikes. Israel's military dropped leaflets across Gaza City, warning it will operate in the area in great force. Some people are leaving for the south, while others have decided to stay put, saying there is no place safe to go. Israel has been targeting high-rise buildings, accusing Hamas of using them as military infrastructure. The attacks also served as a warning to Hamas to release the remaining hostages. New strikes follow Monday's shooting attack at bus stop in Jerusalem that killed 6 people. The city wants to fine builders who don't plant enough trees in their developments. In a new report before City Hall, city administrators suggest establishing a public tree fee. Developers who can't meet the tree planting requirements in zoning bylaws would be charged $1,000 per tree not planted. The money would be used to help the city acquire plantable space, trees, and initiatives to get them planted. The report says the city will have to explore it if it has the legal authority to impose such a fee. It will be discussed at the next Property and Development Committee hearing. Halloween isn't the same without a showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. To mark the cult classic's 50th anniversary, local group The Dramatic Theatre Company is putting on a live performance of the Rocky Horror Picture Show this year. There's 3 shows slated between October 31st and November 2nd at the Asper Center for Theatre and Film. Tickets are available at dramatictheatre.net. And here's a look now what's going on in traffic along Portage at Polo Park. Looks like things are moving well here. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live this morning at the Delnavert Museum. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. I know it's one of your favorites. Second Saturdays is their upcoming event. Every second Saturday, you've got free, that's right, Manitoba, self-guided tours where you can come and enjoy this beautiful, historic Victorian home. There's games for the kids, there's crafts, you can enjoy their historic heritage garden and site outside. And we're going to be learning about some Victorian games and crafts coming up in the 6 o'clock hour. When I looked it up myself, Rochelle, I saw, some simple things like dominoes and hopscotch, one where they blindfold a child and have him try and chase the rest of the kids in the room. So the kids now who have their iPads, I guess consider yourself lucky that you have some more options. There's also another exhibit here with glass bottles, so stay with us for that.
Can't wait to find out more. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. Driving in today, Terry, there's quite a bit of fog on the highway.
Okay, so Environment Canada has been talking about the fog in some of the outlying areas with visibility down to 8 kilometers. I'm not noticing that necessarily on my rooftop. The moon still unobstructed. I suppose the fog would maybe be a low-level fog. So I came out here this morning, and where I usually stand is covered in spider webs, and they've spun this web, like basically between, I know, my director just told me to move. I will move. Okay, I'll get over to this side. Anyway, I bet you can't see them. Will they glisten in the light? I can see them glistening. Anyway, there's all of these webs behind me. And as I was standing up here trying to get framed, I've got Carrie, our switcher this morning, stand still, face the camera, and meanwhile I'm totally distracted by what's going on behind me, and I don't know where this spider is, but I think I've already wrecked some of the webbing, and now it's going to be upset with me, and who knows, build a web in my hair. Anyway, I mentioned that bit of fog this morning, so outlying areas will certainly be dealing with some of that, maybe even parts of the downtown area. Once that fog burns off, we are looking at a beautiful day ahead. Lots of sunshine expected. Really nice temperatures, warmer than you would expect this time of year. Mercury climbing to a high of 24 degrees, and with all that sunshine, just a light breeze is expected. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Good morning, it is 6:15. The family of a university student who was fatally shot by police during a wellness check 2 years ago is demanding another investigation into the incident. A lawyer representing the family from Nigeria says the investigation didn't establish with certainty Afolabi ran at the officers who entered the suite where he was staying. Rather, they say it found there was no evidence to contradict what the officer's partner says happened. The family's lawyer says investigators relied too heavily on the officer's statements and written records and not enough on the other civilian witnesses.
We had civilian witnesses. It's easy. Do you hear him run or not? And we've all lived in an apartment. Come on, we can hear when someone is running, especially that small of an apartment, right? So, I mean, that's pretty much where the family is really disappointed. They expected better.
The report by the Alberta Serious Incident Response Unit concluded the 19-year-old posed a lethal threat to the officers when he ran at them with 2 knives, and they did not have time to flee or use a less lethal option. The officer who fired the shots exercised his right to not be interviewed for the investigation. Monday marked the second week of school for many families in our province, but with that return comes concerns for some as measles cases are on the rise across the province, especially in the Southern Health region. CTV's Joseph Bernacki reports.
Kids are back in school, and some parents and caregivers are concerned the kids will be facing more than just tough math and science questions in the classroom. Morden resident Lisa Dick is worried about the recent rise in measles cases across the province.
It's really concerning, and I feel like it's something that is so unnecessary that if people were having their kids vaccinated, that it just wouldn't have to be happening.
Dick says she is concerned because she knows people who are immunocompromised. Her friend's son is 7 years old and lives with leukemia. leukemia. Although everyone in the family is vaccinated, Dick says her friends are constantly worried each time they leave the house over a potential exposure to the virus.
And even with friends that they would normally hang out with, just, have really been having to pick and choose.
Data from the province suggests there's a real reason to be concerned over the spread of the measles virus. A measles outbreak began in October 2024. On August 9th, there were 182 cases reported in the province. By August 30th, that number had risen to 207.
This is entirely preventable. So this isn't like a normal thing that we should expect to have to be dealing with. Those numbers are continuing to increase as a direct result of low immunization rates.
On September 3rd, the Garden Valley School Division in Winkler sent letters to parents based on back-to-school provincial protocols with the virus. If a child is exposed, they may be required to stay home for at least 3 weeks, but some may be able to return if they receive one vaccine dosage. Singh says the message from the province is simple.
The vast, vast majority of people who are immunized are protected and protected for decades and decades.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Morden.
Measles cases are popping up across the entire country since October of 2024. Singh says there have been over 5,000 cases Canada-wide. Extreme service delays at the CRA aren't getting any better, and the Secretary of State who oversees the agency says the situation is completely unacceptable.
It will not get worse. I mean, we have a baseline. We will make sure that the service levels improve. I mean, really, let's call a spade a spade. We've hit rock bottom. It can't get much worse than it is now.
Wayne Long wouldn't comment on the potential for future job cuts. This all comes after Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne instructed the CRA to launch a 100-day plan to improve services in response to delays people have experienced. The union representing CRA workers says more than 3,000 jobs have been cut since 2024, including debt collector and call center positions. The hunt for a convict who escaped from a BC prison has led to the arrest of 3 alleged accomplices.
Charges have been approved against 3 men who allegedly assisted in the escape of Robbie Al-Khalil from the North Fraser Pretrial Center 3 years ago.
2 of the men allegedly dressed up as contractors and used a white van to break Robbie Al-Khalil out of custody in July of 2022. Al-Khalil, who was being held on murder charges, has been on the run ever since his escape. LEGO has introduced its most expensive set, the LEGO Ultimate Collection Series Star Wars Death Star. It comes with more than 9,000 pieces, complete with stormtroopers, Darth Vader, and Luke Skywalker. It also comes with a hefty price tag, about $1,400. This unused water tower has a new purpose. The tower in Australia was taken out of service more than 60 years ago. It briefly reopened as a show repair shop. Now it's open once again as a bookstore. Its now owner says she liked the quirky space and she plans to match the vibe with an eclectic selection of books. A North Kildonan sports facility may soon be named after a late basketball player. The East Kildonan-Transcona Community Committee has voted to name the new basketball courts at Gateway Recreation Centre the Chad Posthumous Memorial Court. The Winnipeg-born player played professional basketball for 10 years. His career took him to Japan and Argentina and the Canadian men's national basketball team. Posthumous was also the first captain of the Winnipeg Sea Bears. He died of a brain aneurysm in November 2024 at just 33 years old. The motion still needs City Council approval. And here's a look now at what's going on at Main and Broadway. It looks like things are starting off well this Tuesday morning. If you see any problems on your drive, please let us know.
CTV Morning Live Traffic brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
Ooh, it's looking good, isn't it? You know, that looks bigger and brighter than what I was seeing on the rooftop. On the rooftop, I was saying there seems to be that bit of a blurred edge because technically last night was the fullest moon, but that still looks very, very full to me. As we're looking through the Bathfitter Live Eye, Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. You want to distract me? Show me the moon. Honestly, I could stare at it all day long. If you are coming in wanting to see the moon, it's high enough that you'll have no problems viewing it. There might be a little low-level fog out there this morning, and that could be reducing visibility. Environment Canada is saying that the visibility currently is down to about 8 kilometers due to that fog. 8 degrees, though, that's where we're sitting. 7 would be a normal low temperature. So most of us are either at 7 or above. There's just a couple places here in the southeast corner. 6s for Pinawa and Sprague, and a slightly cooler 5 degrees in Gimli this morning, but cooler yet, that's Thompson, coming in at 1 degree. Everybody else is well above what you would expect for this time of year, for morning temperatures anyway. And the conditions, very clear, aside from the fog. The fog, you might notice that in many areas, but above the fog, once that burns off, there won't be much to see today. Beautiful blue sky, plenty of sunshine, and it's bringing the warmth that we haven't felt for a while now. All of last week was well below seasonal. Yesterday was a little bit warmer, and today even warmer yet. 10 degrees when we send kids to school, 23 by the time they're coming home, and 24 is our expected high for today. But it gets even warmer for tomorrow with clear conditions overnight and another sunny one tomorrow. Still enjoying some sunshine Thursday, but evening showers rolling in, and those evening showers will carry us through Friday. But carrying us through are these mid-20 temperatures, right back to seeing the sunshine again as we're looking ahead to the weekend. And what a cool shot, the sun rising over the chickens just before those roosting hours. Ross area is where this picture was taken by Donnie. So thank you for this, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break, but we'll be back in a moment.
Good morning. A Saskatchewan judge has granted the release of the self-proclaimed Queen of Canada at a bail hearing. CTV's Sierra De Sousa Butts has more.
After reluctantly agreeing to more than a dozen release order conditions, Romana Didulo was granted bail here in Swift Current.
Grand rising, everyone.
The self-proclaimed Queen of Canada appeared in court Monday morning for her bail hearing. The Crown asked a Saskatchewan judge for Didulo to not be released from police custody, raising concerns of public safety and issues of protection. During the proceedings, Didulo represented herself, despite the court recommending she hire legal representation. Didulo told the court she has no criminal record, adding she did not breach her undertaking conditions when first arrested by police on September 3rd. The judge decided to release Didulo on several conditions, including no direct or indirect contact with Ricky Mans and 2 other people, Mans being the owner of the decommissioned school in Richmond, where Didulo's Kingdom of Canada group had been living since 2023. She's also barred from being within 50 kilometers of the homes of people she has no contact orders with, and from being within 50 kilometers of Richmond. The judge approved of her residing with a friend in Regina in the meantime. Other conditions include being prohibited on possessing any weapons or imitation weapons and not communicating through the group's Kingdom of Canada website.
Quite a bit of time going over those conditions, and certainly our concern was that she know what the conditions are and that she'd be willing to abide by those conditions, and that was something that the court went through. We can never predict exactly what a person will do, but we trust that she will abide by those.
In choosing to proceed without a lawyer and defending herself, Didulo also opted in to have her case be heard by a jury. She will be back in court on September 17th for a preliminary trial. The Crown also said they are expecting more disclosure in the next few weeks. Sierra De Sousa Butts, CTV News, Swift Current.
Coming up, we're live at the Delnavert Museum this morning. This is the parlor that you're looking at. We're going to have more details what's coming up here this fall.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
It is clear outside this morning. Traffic moving along fine under the light of the moon. Otherwise, we'd be in darkness still. That sun not rising until 6:55. It's 8 degrees with north-northeast winds 3 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 100%. And yes, thankfully for that moon glowing so bright. It's looking a little bit better outside this morning. Also a little bit of fog, so keep that in mind, but perhaps the moon will help with that as well. You, if you're driving, should keep your lights on. That'll help you both see and be seen. A look around the province. There's not much to see here. Very clear conditions. That's what we're looking at right now. It's going to stay that way throughout the day. The fog will burn off for whatever we're seeing, most of it in the outlying areas, and it is low-level fog. If you look up, you can see that moon, and soon you'll be seeing the sunshine and plenty of it, with Plenty of warmth coming our way today, well above seasonal temperatures. 19 is now a seasonal daytime high. We're headed up to 24 degrees today with light winds and still light winds overnight. Clear conditions as we drop to 9. 7 would be a normal low. So again, with those above seasonal temperatures, and even warmer tomorrow, 26 degrees. We'll do it all over again. Plenty of sunshine expected. Still enjoying some sunshine through the daytime Thursday, but by Thursday night, showers beginning. They'll continue overnight and throughout Friday. But still with these very mild temperatures, showers will end. Still a few extra clouds hanging around Saturday, but eventually we're getting that sunshine. That'll carry us right into next week.
Thank you, Terry. A woman is facing charges after a hit and run left a man fighting for his life in a hospital. It happened Saturday night in Dauphin. RCMP say a vehicle hit a 43-year-old pedestrian and drove off. The man had to be airlifted to a Winnipeg hospital where police say he remains in critical condition with life-threatening injuries. Mounties arrested a 20-year-old woman from Gilbert Plains and say alcohol was a factor. She was released from custody with charges pending. A new debate around Portage and Main is now underway. The city is trying to figure out what it will do with the underground concourse, keep it open or shut it down. But as CTV's Danton Unger reports, either way, it will cost the city millions.
It's been a year of uncertainty for Eric Chi.
I have no idea. I have no information because I still have a 3.5 years contract to go.
The owner of this Korean restaurant in the Portage and Main underground concourse says he's been left in limbo as the city figures out what it will do with the circus.
I want to know what's going to happen as soon as possible. That's it.
A new report to the city suggests a few options. Keeping the concourse open would require the city to replace a leaking waterproof membrane, costing about $27 million, along with another $30 million for work on water mains, sewers, roads, and traffic. A full decommissioning would cost $11.1 million over 17 months and would see the majority of the concourse filled in with concrete. A partial decommissioning would cost the city $9.4 million over 14 months. It would see the south side of the circus shut down, closing access to 333 and 335 Main Street. The rest would remain open. For now, the report recommends the city keep the concourse open until a comprehensive cost-benefit analysis is completed to establish the most advantageous strategic alternative.
All the options are on the table, whether we do the full repair to Portage and Main with the surface. Maybe we look at getting rid of that property altogether and somebody else wants to take it on. We just don't know at this time, and hopefully this report will get us in that direction.
Property and Development Chair Councillor Evan Duncan says it could be a while before a final decision is made.
I don't want to speculate on that, but I don't see anything happening in the next 12 months. I would see that this will be pushed out to give the public service some time for us to do the proper public consultation that we need to.
But she says even if the city does keep the concourse open, the needed construction alone will likely put him out of business.
For me, either way, I have to close.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A city survey of the 6 remaining businesses operating in the concourse found 80% oppose any sort of closure. 3 said they would have to close their businesses if the concourse was shut down, while 2 said they were unsure of what they would do. The report is set to be discussed by the city's Property and Development Committee on Friday. Winnipeg police have issued a silver alert for a missing 85-year-old man. Police say Rudolph Danzinger was last seen around noon Monday near Sage Creek Boulevard and De Iverna Boulevard. He's described as 5'10" with a thin build, gray hair, hazel eyes, and metal-framed prescription glasses. Officers believe he may be driving a white 2019 Subaru Forester 2.5 with Manitoba plate ASL 409. Police say they're concerned for his well-being and urge anyone with information to call the missing persons unit. A silver alert is issued when a vulnerable adult is reported missing. Alberta has updated its rules around which books are allowed in school libraries.
The updated order really helps to refine our primary concern, which is around visual images.
Under this new order, books with written depictions of sexual acts are allowed. Books with pictures or drawings showing explicit images are not. Alberta changed its original guidelines after the Edmonton School Board said it would take classics like The Handmaid's Tale, Brave New World, and I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings out of schools. Educational advocates say this is not the way to teach students.
To
protect students is to teach them, right? Teach them how to engage with material that you come across.
Boards have been given an early January deadline to make the changes. People in Beijing stepped out early Monday morning to take in an iconic sight.
A lot of people here today, they don't take out cameras. Some people just take their phones. I think it doesn't matter whether they have very good gear or not. Like, the best thing is like you experience, you witness. That's the best thing.
A rare blood moon rose above the Forbidden City. The Earth, Moon, and Sun aligned to produce a total lunar eclipse, which makes the moon lose its usual white light. Instead, we see a reflection of the sun's light on the moon's dusty surface. The reddish appearance is caused by rays of sunlight around the outer edge of the eclipse shadow being filtered and refracted as it passes through Earth's atmosphere. That's beautiful. All right, here's a look now at what's happening on McPhillip Street. You can see things are moving well over here. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see any issues out there, please let us know. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.42. The provincial average is $1.37. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.37 as well. The lowest price in the city is $1.26. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live this morning at the Delnavert Museum. Which room are you in right now?
Oh, Rochelle, the living room, but I feel like there's a sassier version of saying living room. Samantha? Parlor. See, I knew it. I'm like, there's a couch, there's a piano, it's a living space. It is beautiful, though, I will say that. Tell us about Second Saturdays, the event coming up.
Yeah, so once a month we have our program Second Saturdays, which is presented by Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries, and it's a free program where you can come and see the house free of charge, and we do family-friendly activities like a craft in the attic, and it's an opportunity for everyone to be able to come and experience this little slice of history.
Mm-hmm. And so the self-guided tours, that's great. You can kind of peek your head in every nook and cranny, but there's also activities for the kids too.
Yeah, so we love to do a craft up in the attic that helps to bring historical ideas and art and stuff alive. And we'll do activities in the visitor center as well. Some of those have been more contemporary, like making friendship bracelets, but sometimes we do Victorian-inspired activities like parlor games and historical activities like that.
What is a historic game for that time period? Yeah. I've looked a few up, but I want to know the ones that you guys are doing.
Well, we try to do a few of the less exciting ones because sometimes the Victorian era was a little bit less safe, shall we say. So you're doing things like blind man's bluff where you're wandering around and you can't actually see anything. And of course, then you might have children getting injured. So we'll do things that are a little bit more tame, like cornhole, or we've done cardboard loom weaving, which is kind of an approximation of how you would weave back then. So little activities like that.
Awesome. And then Second Saturdays as well. Hint, hint. You guys, it's this Saturday. But moving forward, this is going to keep going on. The next one has a bit of a theme.
Yeah, so in October, we do Spooky Second Saturday, and we encourage everyone to come in their costumes. Our volunteers will all dress up as well, and it's a really fun time. We get to see everyone dressed up for Halloween, and you get to explore the house and do some more spooky activities.
Samantha, thank you so much. Live from the parlor. I'm going to come, Rochelle, and I'm going to dress up as someone who knows what a parlor is.
Can't wait to see it. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's still pretty dark out there.
Yeah, so the sun hasn't even started to rise yet. That'll begin happening at 6:55, but I am still standing out here under the light of the moon. Not bad at all. It is still beautiful and almost full. Of course, yesterday was its fullest phase, but if you were to look at it, you'd say, oh, what a beautiful full moon. The sun, like I said, not up yet, but in a few minutes' time, and I'm seeing the pretty pinkish clouds off to the east for the few clouds that are even left out here. It is mainly clear, and we're going to be seeing plenty of sunshine today. 8 degrees is where we're sitting right now with a very light wind out of the north-northeast. The pressure rising, humidity sitting at 100%. A little bit of fog, Environment Canada is saying, has developed in some of the outlying areas. A low-level fog that has perhaps reduced visibility to about 8 kilometers. So just keep that in mind if you have places to be this morning. Your morning commute might be affected by that fog. But then once the sun comes up, That fog will burn off, and a beautiful sunny day is expected across the entire province today, with temperatures soaring well above seasonal. I'm talking low to mid 20s, or in the southwest, even high 20s possibly. Nipawin, Brandon, Dauphin areas could get up to 27 degrees. We're not going to be quite that warm here in Winnipeg, topping out at about 24, but when you compare that to seasonal, 19, that's normal for this time of year. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
Looking at the early markets, futures are pointing to a strong open on Wall Street. Dow futures are up 114 points. NASDAQ futures are up 2 by 98. S&P futures are also up by 13 points. The Canadian dollar is seeing a dip. Overseas, the Hang Seng is on the rise, up 304 points, while Japan's Nikkei is down 184 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. The city is one step closer to adopting rules limiting where homeless encampments can be. An original motion has been amended, and it's now much more specific. The plan, which was approved by the Community Services Committee Monday, now lays out exactly how far away encampments should be from sensitive areas. It would ban encampments within 50 meters of playgrounds, pools, spray pads, or outdoor rec facilities designed for children, families, or seniors, as well as schools, daycares, and adult care facilities. 50 meters from rail lines and 30 meters from transit shelters, docks, or piers. As well, encampments would be prohibited on medians wherever they block vehicle or pedestrian traffic or where safety issues exist. The motion is being spearheaded by Councillor Cindy Gilroy of the Daniel McIntyre ward.
We want to make sure that we are protecting the community, especially our young kids and seniors that are using our public spaces, but also too, you know, we really do need to encourage and say to people that are unhoused, we want to make sure we get you the supports. We now have Main Street Project who's doing our wraparound services. We have shelter space. We need to just get people into shelter space and into housing, and that's what this is all about.
The changes also mean tents and other shelters would only be allowed on city property from dusk until dawn as a way to respect the rights on unhoused people to sleep at night. And the motion would see the city work with community groups to ensure those living in encampments are aware of what shelter options exist. Now the motion still needs to clear the Executive Policy Committee and full council. If and when that happens, the Public Service would have 60 days to report back with a formal policy. Canada's Prime Minister rolled out more supports Monday for industries affected by U.S. tariffs. The focus this time on Atlantic Canada. CTV's Mike Lecouture explains.
$80 million of that funding will be dedicated to businesses right here in Atlantic Canada.
That money is being put aside for small and medium-sized businesses in the region and will be shared between the 4 provinces.
What we're allocating here is bigger than the relative share of population, the relative share of GDP of the overall Canadian economy, allocated that way.
It's part of a $1 billion fund for enterprises across the country that are affected by the tariffs. But some advocates point out businesses are still trying to repay pandemic loans, and they'd like to see relief in another form.
Perhaps a measure to actually eliminate all corporate income taxes on small firms until such time as we're on the other side of the trade war.
Ultimately, aluminum is a commodity.
In Montreal, Industry Minister Mélanie Joly sketched out some details around the sectoral help.
Quebec aluminum sector will get its fair share, and we believe that with the projects that are being discussed right now with Alcoa, with Rio Tinto, and with Alouette, it's hundreds of millions of dollars.
Both the financial aid and focus on using local aluminum for public procurement projects is being applauded by the industry, but it won't replace what's being lost in the trade war.
We can't just easily transfer what was sold in the US just here in Canada. The market size is smaller.
Minister Joly says the government is doing a full court press in negotiations with the U.S. to get a deal on the sectoral tariffs, adding the clerk of the Privy Council, Michael Sabia, was in Washington last week.
A Montreal woman accused of abandoning her toddler in a field near a major Ontario highway will be on trial next week.
The facts are not contested because we will do the trial by admission. After that, we're going to look if the result of the psychiatrist evaluation is admissible for the judge, and if he decides to follow or not the recommendation of the psychiatrist.
The trial will proceed by admission as none of the facts in this case is contested. Instead, the judge will determine the accused's state of mind at the time and whether she could tell right from wrong. The woman, who cannot be identified in order to protect the identity of the child, faces charges of child abandonment and criminal negligence. She could be sentenced to up to 10 years in prison. Police found the LaSalle woman's 3-year-old daughter alive and conscious on June 18th, 4 days after the little girl was reported missing. Good things happen when everyone rows in the same direction.
Rowing for one purpose, and that purpose is to really talk about mental health.
First responders teamed up over the weekend for a rowing competition. Money raised goes to support mental health for veterans and first responders. The competition is 7 hours long, which sounds like a lot, but that's where the teamwork comes in. The event has raised at least $82,000. And here's what's happening now in traffic at Kenaston and Sterling Lyon. We have no reports of any issues in this area. If you see anything out there, please let us know.
Oh, but look at that sunrise through the fog. That was cool. It looks cooler over by IKEA. We're not seeing as much fog over here, but here we're looking at the sun actually rising, and it is a gorgeous start to your day. 8 degrees with those north-northeast winds, 3 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 100%. I didn't mean IKEA. I meant over by the Gulf Dome where we had that, you could see that fog that I've been talking about. So keep in mind in those outlying areas or even within the city in some of those more open spaces, you're probably going to notice a little bit of that fog. But it's not going to be long before that burns off, and then we're just looking at sunshine. There's really nothing to show you here on the satellite image, and around the province, abundant sunshine with some really nice temperatures, mid to high teens. Churchill will just be into the double digits, but again, pretty close to normal for this time of year, even slightly above seasonal over here in the northwest, where the mercury could climb up into that 20-degree range when high teens would be normal for you, around 16, 17 degrees, a seasonal high. Now here in the south, seasonal highs would be about 19 degrees and soaring well above that, 27 the average temperature throughout southwestern Manitoba. Not quite as warm here in the southeast, but still very, very pleasant. Mid-20s expected, and then further east yet, still plenty of sunshine, and more so into those low 20s through much of northwestern Ontario. Tomorrow could be even warmer yet, with the clear conditions continuing overnight and through tomorrow. Still some sunshine Thursday night, though. The rain begins. That'll carry us through Friday, and then we're still going to enjoy a little more sunshine as we're wrapping up the weekend, and all throughout mid-20 temps, well above normal.
Thank you, Terry. We're learning more about a WestJet flight that experienced what's being referred to as a hard landing in the Caribbean. CTV's Rahim Lahani takes us through what happened through the harrowing account of one passenger who was on board.
Passengers on board this Boeing 737 were jolted as their aircraft fiercely made contact with the runway in St. Martin in the Caribbean Sunday afternoon.
It was a very hard bounce. The plane really did vibrate through and throughout.
164 people were on board this WestJet flight arriving from Toronto around 1:30 local time. Moments after flying over the famous Mahjong Beach, where tourists watch planes pass over them daily, the aircraft made a hard landing, tipping to the right side, appearing to collapse the landing gear.
The last 15, 20 feet of the landing approach, you're going to flare the airplane out, where you raise the nose slightly, increase the lift on the wing, slows the descent rate. If you do that too early, you float down the runway. And if you do it too late, well, I think you can kind of see what happens.
Passengers had to slide down the aircraft, and emergency responders deployed foam as a precaution. 3 people were taken to hospital for medical evaluation, but the airport is reporting no injuries.
At first, it really wasn't registering. I was more concerned about getting off and making sure my wife was okay. But now it's just a thing about it. We almost lost our lives.
In a statement, WestJet says, at this time, we are awaiting confirmation on the exact nature of the incident. Our teams are focused on supporting our guests and crew, ensuring their safety and care remain our highest priority. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada will be sending a team to lead an investigation into the incident, but add the agency does not assign fault or determine civil or criminal liability. Rahim Ladani, CTV News, Toronto.
If you drove around Winnipeg, you might have seen some painted concrete bears. They're known as the Bears on Broadway, and the passage of time hasn't been kind to many of them. But as CTV's Harrison Shin shows you, one local artist is bringing the bears back to life.
Meet Rachel Lancaster, the muralist bringing concrete bears back to life.
It's like bringing art history to life again. It's keeping it alive.
In 2005, 67 concrete bears were created and displayed on Broadway as a fundraiser for Cancer Care Manitoba. Today, they are scattered across the province.
They were auctioned off for charity for cancer care. And back then, once they were cast, there was artists that were hired to paint them in all different ways.
The bears are made of cast concrete, and time hasn't been kind to them.
The original first bear that I was asked to paint was a blue bomber bear. That bear was in rough condition. It needed some structural repair, like the concrete needed to be replaced and whatnot.
So she brought her paint can and brushes and repainted. The news got to the original artist, Heebie Jeebies, through his daughter.
She says, yeah, somebody restored your bears. It's Rachel. And so I went online and looked at her job, and I said, wow, she did a good job.
Then Theroux made the connection with Lancaster.
I phoned her, and she was glad that I got in touch with me. And we had a long, pleasant conversation.
He also gave me a lot of tips on how to do it. He told me about different primers that he used. And so, yeah, it was a very long conversation, and I was very, very grateful for it.
And she's hopeful she'll get the chance to work on more of the bears.
Typically what I do every day is I paint murals. I'm happy to do that, but I hope more bears are in my future as well.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Well, don't they look nice? Coming up, we're going to take a break here. After this, your 7 o'clock headlines. Stay with us, please. Good morning. It is 7 o'clock on Tuesday, September the 9th. You're watching CTV Morning Live. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to continue our journey in the Delnavert Museum with our Ainsley McPhail this morning, telling us what's up there this fall. Also at 8:15, we're going to get our monthly chat with Mayor Scott Gillingham. He's going to give us an update on crime in our city and the transit situation. We're going to have all that and more, but first your headlines. Mixed reviews, what Winnipeggers are saying about the city's new transit system. Plus demanding answers why the family of a student who was fatally shot wants another investigation. And honoring his legacy, which Winnipeg sports facility could be named for the late Chet Posthumous. Bringing in Terry now, and the sun has risen just before 7. Is that right?
I do want to point out our matching team uniforms this morning, because we look so good and it needs to be acknowledged.
I agree.
Sorry, what were you saying about the job that I'm supposed to do?
The sun rose at what time this morning?
Oh, 6:55. Okay. So only a few minutes to go. There you can see we're still dealing with the pretty pink and purplish colored clouds. Stunning morning. There's very few clouds. There's probably more fog than there is actual clouds out there. So keep in mind with that fog, visibility might be reduced somewhat. 8 degrees is where we're sitting right now with these north-northeast winds, 3 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 100%. Yeah, it is beautiful out there this morning. I actually managed to capture it, and you'll see on my Instagram stories, I've got the moon from one view as you're looking off to the west, because it's not technically in its fullest phase, but one day minus that, and then just panned over and you can see the glow of where the sun was rising. It's stunning. It's a beautiful morning. The winds are very light. The temperatures, well, they're pleasant, and they're going to get even better today, especially as they start to warm. And it will be warming to above seasonal values no matter where you are, and plenty of sunshine is expected. expected no matter where you are. Just a couple of clouds this morning, and even those will be clearing to mainly sunny conditions throughout the day today. And temperatures, like I said, will be above seasonal. It's not just for today. All week long, we're going to be above what you would expect this time of year. Just for a reference point, here in the south, around 19 degrees would be a seasonal daytime high, whereas for northern Manitoba, anywhere from about 17 degrees to 13, 14 degrees in the northeast. Those would be normal daytime highs, and everybody is likely to be beyond that, with clear conditions overnight and plenty of sunshine back again tomorrow. Tomorrow still with the fairly light winds, though they might be shifting somewhat. Overall, it looks like it's going to remain pretty clear until Thursday. Thursday night is when we might start to see some shower activity here in the south, whereas Thursday morning that could start to appear through parts of northern Manitoba. That shower activity continuing overnight and into Friday, but it tapers off, and we're still looking at those really pleasant temperatures through the weekend and into next week. And our art today is thanks to Tatum, 9 years old, who drew her favorite cat, Chanel. Chanel, I feel, is a bird watcher, judging by this picture here. Great job, Tatum, and thanks for sharing that. Keep the pictures coming, please. We'd love to see your art. Send it to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thanks, Terry. With summer vacation in the rear-view mirror, students and others are riding the bus for the first time since transit switched to a new system. The promise was frequent and simplified service, but as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, the reality is proving to be mixed.
Rush hour and schools are back in full swing. It's a big test for Winnipeg Transit's new system that started rolling at the end of June.
Very frustrated about it. I also took the bus a while ago, and it was 30 minutes late here, 30 minutes late at my transfer, and then it took me 15 minutes to walk.
Phoenix Whitman is a University of Winnipeg student. He says his previous commute was one bus and 45 minutes long. Now
it takes two buses and over an hour and 15 minutes.
CTV News spoke with several bus riders. The issue most brought up was having to take more buses to get to their destinations, meaning more transfers.
Now I have to take like 3 buses, and that's kind of a struggle for me.
Now with the new routes, I'm now taking 2 buses to classes every day. It's a lot faster, which I appreciate, but it would be nice to not have to worry about a transfer or missing a bus.
Others say the new system is working just fine.
I was a little bit scared for my first year, but yeah, it gets me around and where I need to be.
Now I take the FX4 and it like drops me right beside my house, so it's good for me.
Transit has said the point of the overhaul is to improve service and update a system meant for the 1950s and 60s. The routes are now designed as a spine and feeder system. Transit says the buses on the spines or primary network in blue are frequent and direct and should get riders to places faster. The buses on the feeder routes in gray run through neighborhoods and connect to the spine, but don't go downtown or to congested areas, so they should be on time. Transit says it will be monitoring the new system and taking feedback from riders over the next year in order to make small tweaks and major changes that might be needed. Feedback about our new network is valued. We want detailed, constructive criticism about what's working and what's not. And while the riders we spoke to hope changes are coming for the better, most said they would not want to go back to the old way.
It was definitely a change, but I think it will be good for us in the long run.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The family of a university student who was fatally shot by police during a wellness check 2 years ago is demanding another investigation into the incident. A lawyer representing the family from Nigeria says the investigation didn't establish with certainty Afolabi ran at the officers who entered the suite where he was staying. Rather, they say it found there was no evidence to contradict what the officer's partner says happened. The family's lawyer says investigators relied too heavily on the officer's statements and written records and not enough on the other civilian witnesses.
We had civilian witnesses. It's easy. Do you hear him run or not? And we've all lived in an apartment. Come on. We can hear when someone is running, especially that small of an apartment, right? So, I mean, that's pretty much where the family is really disappointed. They expected better.
The report by the Alberta Serious Incident Response Unit concluded the 19-year-old posed a lethal threat to the officers when he ran at them with 2 knives, and they did not have time to flee or use a less lethal option. The officer who fired the shots exercised his right to not be interviewed for the investigation. More evacuees in Nova Scotia are allowed to return home today after being forced out by the Long Lake wildfire in West Dalhousie.
With all of that news and all the work that's been gone on, we are pleased to say that today that this fire is now classed as being held. That means that the fire is not likely to grow or move as long as conditions don't change.
The fire started burning on August 13th. It had been considered out of control until yesterday. The province says the Department of Natural Resources considers factors like current fire behavior, air quality, and road access when changing a fire's status. Officials are still not allowing families to return to about 107 homes. Extreme service delays at the CRA aren't getting any better, and the Secretary of State who oversees the agency says the situation is completely unacceptable.
It will not get worse. I mean, we have a baseline. We will make sure that the service levels improve. I mean, really, let's call a spade a spade. We've hit rock bottom. It can't get much worse than it is now.
Wayne Long wouldn't comment on the potential for future job cuts. This all comes after Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne instructed the CRA to launch a 100-day plan to improve services in response to delays people have experienced. The union representing CRA workers says more than 3,000 jobs have been cut since 2024, including debt collector and call center positions. Israel has ordered all residents in Gaza City to get out immediately as it intensifies strikes. Israel's military dropped leaflets across Gaza City, warning it will operate in the area in great force. Some people are leaving for the south, while others have decided to stay put, saying there is no place safe to go. Israel has been targeting high-rise buildings, accusing Hamas of using them as military infrastructure. The attacks also served as a warning to Hamas to release the remaining hostages. New strikes follow Monday's shooting attack at a bus stop in Jerusalem that killed 6 people. In provincial politics, the newest member of Manitoba's PC caucus was sworn in Monday.
I, Colleen Robbins, do swear that I will faithfully and bear true allegiance to His Majesty the King.
Colleen Robbins was officially sworn in as the new MLA for Spruce Woods. Robbins, a former nurse and longtime Conservative Party volunteer, kept the seat blue last month with a narrow victory over the NDP.
And I'd like to also thank Spruce Woods for me having this honor to be here today, as they have given me their trust, and I am going to show them that they picked the right person.
The hotly contested Tory stronghold has been vacant since March, when Grant Jackson resigned to run for the federal Conservatives. A North Kildonan sports facility may soon be named after a late basketball player. The East Kildonan Transcona Community Committee has voted to name the new basketball courts at Gateway Recreation Centre the Chad Posthumous Memorial Court. The Winnipeg-born player played professional basketball for 10 years. His career took him to Japan and Argentina and the Canadian men's national basketball team. Posthumous was also the first captain of the Winnipeg Sea Bears. He died of a brain aneurysm in November 2024 at just 33 years old. The motion still needs City Council approval. Here's what's happening now on Osborne Street. It looks like things are still quite light over here and moving quite well. If you have any traffic tips to share with us, please go to our X page. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Delnavert Museum. That's still the parlor, I think, or is that the kitchen?
No, the dining room.
Ooh, okay.
I know I haven't had my breakfast yet, but the problem is the food here, it looks so realistic that it's a little bit deceiving. That's all I'm going to say. But if you take a look at this table, while it is beautifully placed, there may be one bottle that's out of place. And if you noticed it's this one, you are correct. They have another exhibition in another room about bottles, the history of bottles in Canada. This one here, if you see, it says Winnipeg on the bottom. They pulled it out for me in the back. It's from the brewer E.L. Drury. I'm so scared to drop it, so I'm just going to put it down. But that's what we've learned about it, and we're going to learn so much more about the shape, the make, the color, and even the caps. So many little bits of history here at Delnavert.
I love that. Okay, can't wait to find out more. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now.
I love that museum. Like, she's moved from like the parlor into the dining room now, and it just has that feel to it. Like, you feel like by the end we're going to be guessing like the room, the weapon, and the suspect, right?
Sure.
It has a clue like feeling to it, for sure.
Such a fun place.
Yeah, it really is. All right, this morning is nothing less than magical. Honestly, I've been talking about the full moon, the sun rising, how gorgeous it is out here. It really is a beautiful start to your day, and we've got really nice temperatures expected across the entire province. Really nice conditions, especially compared to last week when a lot of us were feeling that chill, maybe not loving it and thinking, oof, fall is here. No, we've got a nice little blast of an extended summer, if you will. 10 degrees right now. Wind's very light, just 3 clicks out of the southeast. The pressure is rising, and the humidity is sitting at 100%. The sky is looking pretty stunning right now as the sun is rising off to the east. There are a couple of clouds just hanging right over the downtown area, but off to the west, you can see just how clear it is, and these clouds directly overhead will be passing on by. Throughout the province, the few clouds that you might see in the morning hours will be clearing as the day goes on, but more than clouds, the possibility that you might be encountering a little bit of fog for your morning commute. Just keep that in mind. It might slow you down in some of those more outlying areas. Visibility has been reduced due to that fog to about 8 kilometers in and around the Winnipeg area. But now that the sun is up, that fog will eventually burn off, and then plenty of sunshine expected today, with the mercury soaring up to 24 degrees. Some areas even hotter off to the west through southwestern Manitoba, high 20s, and even northern Manitoba and above seasonal day. We'll spend the next couple of days with the sun shining over us.
Thank you, Terry. At CTV Morning Live, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, whether they're furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want more. Whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals, send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca. And then catch us every Thursday between 6 and 9 to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on CTV Morning Live. All right, we're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this with more news and some entertainment as well. Stay with us. Good morning, it is 7:16. The Association of Manitoba Municipalities is putting pressure on Ottawa to step in with funding for water infrastructure. The AMM released the results of a pro-research poll showing 8 in 10 Manitoba respondents believe the feds should help pay for things like water treatment plants and sewer pipes as a way to boost housing. The group says this echoes what its members have been saying for years, that plans to address the housing crisis are being stymied by a lack of funding for water and wastewater systems.
Because there's no sense building a home if it doesn't have water in it and if you can't flush a toilet in it. So they go hand in hand, and we don't want, a one-size-fits-all funding. We want there to be specific to the needs of municipalities. And if we want to build Canada, if we want to grow Manitoba's economy, it starts with water and wastewater projects.
The online survey of 1,000 Manitoba adults took place between July 24th and August 11th. It cannot be assigned a margin of error as the respondents were not randomly chosen from the general population. The City of Winnipeg will consider acquiring some West Elmwood property to turn it into a community gathering space. The city is looking at 2 lots at the corner of Henderson Highway and Johnson Avenue. The late City Councillor Jason Schreier came up with the idea to create a community meeting space featuring an entertainment stage, a food rescue operation, transitional housing, and eviction prevention services. The city would develop the space with the help of the Chalmers Neighborhood Renewal Corporation. Right now, the plan is still in the idea phase. The Standing Policy Committee on Property and Development will hear a verbal report on how much the idea would cost at its upcoming meeting Friday. This classic game is gaining new appreciation. Mahjong clubs are popping up across California. Those showing up are young people looking for a way to put their phones away and socialize in person with others. Unlike your regular home game, these Mahjong clubs have DJs and custom cocktails to cater to the young crowd. These clubs are an opportunity to introduce people to the game as well as bring business to local restaurants and bars. The city wants to find builders who don't plant enough trees in their developments. In a new report before City Hall, city administrators suggest establishing a public tree fee. Developers who can't meet the tree planting requirements in zoning bylaws would be charged $1,000 per tree not planted. The money would be used to help the city acquire plantable space, trees, and initiatives to get them planted. The report says the city will have to explore if it has the legal authority to impose such a fee. It will be discussed at the next Property and Development Committee hearing. And here's what's happening now along the Norwood Bridge. Looks like a smooth drive so far. No issues to tell you about at this point.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Let's go now to some entertainment news. Dwayne Johnson says he has been in Toronto countless times as The Rock, but never as the star of a film premiering at TIFF.
This was always a bucket list for me. Like, I wonder what it was like to come back to Toronto to represent a film.
Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt were on the red carpet for their film The Smashing Machine. It tells the story of former MMA fighter Mark Kerr. Johnson is getting some serious Oscar buzz for the role. Director Benny Safdie won Best Director for the film at the Venice Film Festival.
I think what makes her lovable is that she's very, she's very much human.
Scarlett Johansson also made her return to TIFF as a first-time director. She steps behind the camera for Eleanor the Great, about a senior who passes herself off as a Holocaust survivor. Halloween isn't the same without a showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. To mark the cult classic's 50th anniversary, local group The Dramatic Theatre Company is putting on a live performance of the Rocky Horror Picture Show this year. There's 3 shows slated between October 31st and November 2nd at the Asper Center for Theatre and Film. Tickets are available at dramatictheatre.net. A letter Jane Austen wrote to her older sister is headed to the auction block. It's expected to fetch up to $400,000 next month. In it, Jane Austen rattles through an account of her days in Bath. She gossips about their neighbors and relatives, shares news about their friends, and reflects on the family's diminished social status. It was written about 3 months after Austen's father died. Your primetime lineup features High Potential at 8, then see plenty of fierce cross-country competition on the Amazing Race Canada.
All right, we're looking now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. But it's going to be so gorgeous this evening. Maybe you just want to get out for a stroll, or get out for a stroll this morning. At least get outside this morning. Take your coffee out. It is so beautiful. It is going to be warming up, but not into a shocking hot day. Pleasant, and that's what we can expect throughout this week. So I think a lot of people will really be on board with what Mother Nature is dishing up. Starting out at 10 degrees, actually we had started as cool as 8. We're already making some gains. A little bit cooler you can see in Pinawa Sprague, where you're sitting at 5 degrees, 6 in Brandon, and in Dauphin, just for a reference point, 7 degrees. That would be a normal low temperature. Most of us are either there or above, some of us already in the double digits, and that includes parts of northern Manitoba along the western border, and even off to the east in the Island Lake area. Much cooler in Thompson, 1 degree to begin, but you too will have the temperatures soaring right across the entire province. Mainly sunny conditions are expected. There's nothing going on to show you on the satellite image, and that's because it is just going to be a clear and sunny day, though there's a little bit of fog out there this morning, which needs to burn off before most places will see that abundant sunshine. From 11 degrees as we send kids to school to 23 by the time they're coming home again. 24 our expected high today, when 19 is a normal daytime high. And instead, all throughout this week, low to mid-20s, or mostly mid-20s, really. A little bit of precipitation Thursday night could carry us into Friday, but even that is tapering off and clearing out for the coming weekend. And our picture today is so cool. I love this one of the farmyard view. This is just before roosting hour out in the Ross area. Thanks to Donnie for the photo. Keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
Thanks, Terry. A scary attraction will return early next month, and we want you to join in on the fun. Heebie Jeebies features over 1 kilometer of mazes, photo ops, carnival games, and more than 140 characters and 150 animatronic scares. We're giving away tickets for a special night on Friday, October 3rd for you and 3 friends or family members, where you can join our friends from Virgin 1031. To enter the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, enter your details and don't forget the keyword boo. Good luck. Police have charged 3 men who they say helped a BC fugitive escape prison 3 years ago. Now as the search for the man continues, officials are sharing more details into what happened. CTV's Shannon Patterson has the story.
These 2 men, who allegedly posed as contractors to help accused murderer Rabi Al-Khalil escape from North Fraser Pretrial Centre in Port Coquitlam in July 2022, have been arrested and charged, along with a 3rd man with conspiracy to commit prison breach and prison breach.
Those individuals are Edward Ayoub, 48 of Ottawa, John Potvin, 49 of Ottawa, and Ryan Van Gool, 46 of Harrison Hot Springs. During that investigation, police gathered further information that resulted in the prevention of a murder in Kamloops. As well, we were able to lay charges in a shooting in Maple Ridge.
RCMP also addressed media reports that Al-Khalil himself has been arrested in Qatar.
We have channels and systems in place when people have left the country and they are wanted. But in this case, we cannot confirm with you today that he has been arrested.
John Potvin, one of the men charged with helping Al-Khalil escape, is still at large. And RCMP say so is the man he allegedly broke out of prison.
At this point, Rabi Al-Khalil remains at large. So if anyone with information about Rabi Al-Khalil, we invite them to come forward and contact their local police agency. At this point, there is still a Canada-wide warrant and a red notice out for Rabi Al-Khalil. That has not changed.
You have to understand that Mr. Al-Khalil belongs to an organization that is known for its transnational reach. He could be in Canada, he could be anywhere else in part of the world.
A month after the escape, Al-Khalil was convicted in absentia of first-degree murder in connection with the deadly 2012 gang shooting at the Wall Centre in downtown Vancouver. As for how he could possibly have been able to walk away,
I think that's a question for our counterparts with corrections, because that part we do not control.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News.
Coming up, we're live at the Delnavert Museum. They have Saturday events. Second Saturdays are happening this month. We're going to tell you more on what that means and what sort of activities you can do. We'll be right back. Let's go back now to the Delnavert Museum, where Ainsley McPhail is live this morning. There's so many things you can learn about history when you go there, but also do some fun hands-on activities. Good morning, Ainsley.
Finally, something hands-on that I can touch. I saw a chair over there that says, you can sit on this. So I gestured to cameraman Kenny to make sure he knows that's the chair you can sit on. But anyways, for people who like to get their hands busy while learning about history, this is the perfect spot. Samantha Machado joins us once again. So tell us about Second Saturdays.
Yeah, so Second Saturdays, presented by Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries, is a free event that happens on the second Saturday of every month. And one of the things that we like to do during Second Saturdays is have a craft or two up here in our attic. So this weekend, we'll be making these little spinners, which if I can get it to spin, you can see that they have one design when they're stagnant, but when you're spinning them, all the colors sort of meld together. So this one isn't super historical, but it is fun, and it does teach you a little bit about color theory. And another activity that we sometimes do is cardboard loom weaving. So I've got this giant one here, and basically the idea is that this is how your fabric is essentially made. Stuff is woven. And so we've got the weave going up and down here, and then we take some more string and we form the weft across by going over and under and over and under. And this, when you do it enough times, creates what is essentially a zoomed out version of most of our fabrics.
This is a pretty big one, but there are smaller ones for little hands. And something else that I love too, it's safe. Like, this is kid safe in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can hurt someone with anything, but these are pretty safe. So you can, it's good for all ages. You can make stuff. I like to make essentially little cat toys out of these because they're nice and catnip adhesive with all the yarn and the string. And my cats really quite like the string element of it, but you can make kind of anything with it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Samantha. And if I check my calendar, second Saturday, hey, it's this Saturday. Look at that.
All right. Thank you, Ainsley. And one thing I learned yesterday, don't put the flip-flops away just yet.
Right?
Yeah,
I know this week, honestly, I'm pretty happy about it because I feel like a lot of us last week, even though I know that September is notorious for, you know, cooling down and then having that little blast of warmth again, even myself, I was like, oh, is that it? Are we done? No, Mother Nature, she is not done, giving us a last little blast of lingering summer and beautiful conditions above seasonal all week long. We're sitting at 10 degrees right now with southeast winds 3 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 100%. A little bit of fog out there, especially in some of the outlying areas or the more open areas. So just keep that in mind, perhaps affecting your commute a bit. But it won't be long before that sun burns off the fog. And then we just have clear conditions throughout the entire province today. A beautiful day with well above seasonal temperatures, especially here in the south, but even northern Manitoba, mid to high teens. Some might even hit that 20-degree mark, which will be an above seasonal day. Here in the south, where 19 degrees is normal, we're headed up to 24, and southwestern Manitoba could do a few degrees better than that. Dropping down to 9 degrees tonight, 7 a seasonal low, so we're continuing on with those above normal temperatures, clear conditions, light winds. That continues for tomorrow with plenty of sunshine back. Even more heat, 26 is where we'll top out. From there, the possibility of some showers moving in by Thursday night, but daytime, most of us will enjoy that sunshine. And then evening showers carry us through Friday, still with the mid-20 temperatures, and those temps will be lasting as the sunshine returns, and it looks like it's continuing into the start of next week.
Thank you, Terry. Winnipeg police have issued a silver alert for a missing 85-year-old man. Police say Rudolph Danzinger was last seen around noon Monday near Sage Creek Boulevard and Des Hivernales Boulevard. He's described as 5'10" with a thin build, gray hair, hazel eyes, and metal-framed prescription glasses. Officers believe he may be driving a white 2019 Subaru Forester 2.5 with Manitoba plate ASL 409. Police say they're concerned for his well-being and urge anyone with information to call the Missing Persons Unit. A silver alert is issued when a vulnerable adult is reported missing. The lawyer for former fashion mogul Peter Nygard says the charges against him in Winnipeg should be dismissed. In court, defense lawyer Jerry Wiebe argued police failed to keep records from the complainant's first interaction with officers nearly 30 years ago. Nygard was charged in 2023 with sexual assault and unlawful confinement after allegations tied to a 1993 incident at a Winnipeg warehouse. Wiebe told the judge the missing documents undermine her client's right to a fair trial. The court has not yet ruled on the request to dismiss the case. Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced a tariff relief fund for businesses in Atlantic Canada.
$80 million of that funding will be dedicated to businesses right here in Atlantic Canada.
The money is being put aside for small and medium-sized businesses in the region. It will be shared between the 4 provinces. Prime Minister Carney says the seafood industry will be eligible for the funding, which will be administered by the Atlantic Canada Opportunities Agency. Meanwhile, Industry Minister Mélanie Joly provided some details around cross-Canada sectoral help. She says Quebec's aluminum sector is likely to receive hundreds of millions of dollars from a $5 billion fund to help sectors slammed by U.S. tariffs. Nearly all of Canada's aluminum is produced in Quebec. More than 20 people are said to have been killed by a Russian airstrike in eastern Ukraine. A social media post from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says, quote, "There are no words. My condolences to all the families and loved ones of the victims. Such Russian strikes must not be left without an appropriate response from the world." Officials in Ukraine also reported attacks in Kherson and Zaporizhia. The attack in Kherson hit a busy market in the city. There are more calls for transparency from Republicans after the release of more documents from the Epstein files.
These women who've been fighting for justice for 30 years and still don't have it, I want to give them every ounce of a platform that we can up here in Congress to get the truth out.
The release includes a note allegedly written and drawn by U.S. President Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein. It's said to be part of a birthday book given to Epstein for his 50th birthday. We won't show you the whole thing, but it ends with the line, "A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." President Trump has denied writing this note. A federal appeals court has ruled against throwing out the $83 million defamation judgment against U.S. President Trump. President Trump's legal team has argued the verdict should be overturned because of presidential immunity. A jury ruled against President Trump for damaging the reputation of writer E. Jean Carroll. LEGO has introduced its most expensive set, the LEGO Ultimate Collection Series Star Wars Death Star. It comes with more than 9,000 pieces, complete with Stormtroopers, Darth Vader, and Luke Skywalker. It also comes with a hefty price tag, about $1,400. Surfing went to the dogs in Del Mar, California, Sunday.
13 years of doing this here. Never thought just me going out having fun with my dog would bring so much joy and fun to everyone else. Helps raise money.
Splash at the annual Surf Dog Surfathon. More than 50 dogs took part, with proceeds going to a local animal center. The winner was a dog named Faith. So cute. Here's a look at what's happening now on Notre Dame Avenue. Things are moving well here. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see any problems out there, please let us know. And here's the look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.42. The provincial average is $1.37. In Winnipeg, it's the same. The lowest price in the city is $1.26. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Right now, we're sitting under 10 degrees. It's a gorgeous start to your Tuesday morning. We'll be back after this with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
It's a gorgeous start to your Tuesday morning. 10 degrees outside, a little bit of fog, probably more noticeable in the outlying areas. Southeast winds very light, not noticeable at all. They're just 3 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 100%. It's going to be clear, bright, sunny right across the entire province. And the few clouds that are hanging around this morning, they won't be lasting through the day, nor will the fog be lasting. That'll be burning off soon. And most of the province, all of the province really, with plenty of sunshine, and most of us with above seasonal temperatures. A little bit cooler in Churchill, 10 degrees, but everybody else, those mid to even some high teens expected in the northeastern part of the province, pretty close to what you would expect for this time of year. Maybe even slightly above seasonal, reaching up to 20 degrees in parts of the northwest. Once we're moving into the southwest, that'll be one of the hottest spots in the province today, with 27 the average temperature that you'll be reaching. Just to give you a bit of a reference point, 19 would be a normal daytime high all across southern Manitoba, and everybody will be well above that. The southwest probably more so than the rest of us, but still mid-20s throughout southeastern Manitoba, and even as we're looking a little bit further to the east, low 20s for northwestern Ontario. And the conditions, honestly, they're so gorgeous. Sunshine for today, clear conditions overnight, back to sunshine again tomorrow, and even Thursday. Here in the south, we'll enjoy sunshine through the day. Northern Manitoba will start to see some precipitation in the morning. By evening time is when it could roll through for us and last throughout Friday. Even with that chance of precipitation by the end of the week, though, you can see the temperatures remaining well above seasonal. And eventually, by the time we're wrapping up the weekend and looking ahead to next week, plenty of sunshine is coming back again.
Thank you, Terry. Ainsley McPhail is live at the Delnavert Museum this morning. They have a really cool exhibit there as well. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. Package in Progress is what it's called, and it showcases dozens of old glass bottles, looking at the evolution and so much more. Samantha's joining me once again to tell us all about it. These ones here, Samantha, they're the oldest ones?
Yeah, so this one in here that has the #1 label, that's probably the oldest one in this exhibit, and it's from probably as late as the 1880s and as early as the 1840s. It's a guessing game when you're looking at manufactured glass. There's lots of interesting hints and tips that you can spot based on like the shape, the color, whether or not you can see seams, any sort of manufacturing marks. So that one's probably the oldest one that you're going to see in this exhibit.
Mm-hmm. And there's a little message on the one that I was holding that's not showcased here. You have to return this bottle, by the way.
Yeah, we've got a similar one to that that's I think in one of the, yes, #7 here is pretty similar to that, and they're from the E.L. Drury Brewing Company, who were an early Manitoba business, and eventually they got bought out by an American company. But that's a good early example of Manitoban glass history and glass manufacturing.
You guys are even showcasing different colors. Tell us about that evolution.
Yeah, so early on, a lot of glass ended up looking fairly similar because we were still experimenting and learning. But as history progresses, you can see in our exhibit that we start to get more different colors of glass by using different chemistry techniques, different additives, and that's how we get to see glass bottles that look all different colors like this one, and not just, you know, the range of colors that you'd expect from stained glass.
Because it's my favorite, cameraman Kenny, we're going to go 2 down to the final one. Underwater treasures.
Yes. So yeah, part of this exhibit comes from our collection, but part of it is also from a local collector's private collection. And one of the ways that private collectors often obtain glass is by diving and snorkeling for it and finding it in rivers and lakes.
So neat. I hope you guys come down. And you know what? Perfect opportunity with those self-guided tours. Second Saturdays. We'll see you then.
Thank you, Ainsley. Is this the year of the grandma aesthetic? Now look at how young people are embracing grandma core. ABC's Will Gans reports.
Nothing hits harder than the shade thrown by a grandma.
Women like me don't grow on trees.
Too bad, we could use the shade.
And now that Golden Girl's style is going viral.
Stitching up your own clothes takes a long friggin' time, all right?
Searches for grandma drip up over 1,000% on TikTok this week as fall ushers in a craving for all things cozy.
I am nothing if I do not make a sweater.
In fact, Better Homes and Gardens calls this the year of the crafty grandma aesthetic.
So handmade things, knitted items, quilted items, crocheting, all of these things really feed into this crafty grandma aesthetic.
TikTok's Grandma Cottage, an account run by Madison Vaughn, who's in her early 30s, is leading the charge of millennials leaning into the antique-y aesthetic.
Cost of living is going up, and there's a beautiful element of the grandma aesthetic that allows you to really find cost-effective ways to fill your home with beautiful things.
If you're looking to jump headfirst into the vintage vibe, try out floral wallpaper or lace curtains. And you can also display some of your favorite things.
Men can get in on this. Get vintage golf clubs or tennis rackets, whatever is kind of your passion.
For some, it's more than just an aesthetic.
I am a grandma. Through and through.
Gabby Fuchs is a 28-year-old whose friend group has unleashed their inner grandmas, taking up knitting, needle pointing, and launching a book club.
It's a way to meet new people, to deepen your relationships.
Just the way the OGs did it.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday. We are taking a trip to the ballpark. Yes, it is the Cardinals and Mariners, and Cal Raleigh just gets a hold of this. Smacks one to right center. Victor Scott, the second, tracks it down, makes a fantastic catch. Takes a pretty hard land in the process. Scott, the second, keeping Seattle off the board, laying it on the line. Now, despite the faceplant, would be okay and stayed in the game. That's using your head. Also earns your must-see moment from Monday. Meanwhile, today we've got some action for you on the pitch. Canada takes on Wales in an international friendly. It all begins at 1 p.m. Central over on TSN 1 and 4. It's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Enjoy the soccer and have a marvelous Tuesday.
TSN Must-See Moments brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, your Hunter Douglas shade provider for over 40 years. Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful at 900 Lorimer Boulevard, featuring Hunter Douglas shades.
All right, it is a beautiful start to your morning. I've been saying that for the last few hours now. There's a couple of clouds just over the downtown area already beginning to clear out, but from my vantage point now, I can see a little bit of that fog just off in the distance. That will be burning off before long. If you notice it this morning, you may be reducing your visibility ever so slightly for your morning commute. 10 degrees, that's where we're sitting right now. Southeast winds 3 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 100% this morning. I mentioned a couple of clouds, but already they're beginning to clear on out. The few scattered clouds here or there around the province will all be clearing through the day, and then mainly sunny conditions are expected throughout with above seasonal temperatures no matter where you are. And it's not just today. We're going to do it again and again and again. With sunshine and clear skies lasting for the next couple of days at least, through today, overnight, and tomorrow. And even Thursday here in the south, sunshine through the day, but by Thursday evening, showers beginning, and that could carry us into Friday. Some areas through northern Manitoba will start to see those showers daytime on Thursday. But even with the possible showers pending, temperatures are still looking to be above seasonal right throughout the coming weekend.
Thank you, Terry. With 2 weeks left of summer, it's starting to look and feel a lot like fall, at least in one part of Canada. CTV's Sarah Plowman on signs the season is changing early in Atlantic Canada, and why.
Each day, Ellen Tramley Seymour chases beauty. Armed with her drone and a keen eye, she's noticed fall colors are popping already.
In my uneducated eye, they seem to be changing a little faster.
She's right. The leaves are changing and falling earlier than usual.
And what this is being driven by is the significant drought that the Maritimes has been experiencing.
For months, it's been unusually dry.
There's been months of the past summer that have been some of the driest ones those areas have seen.
A challenge for fruit growers, farmers, but also trees. Less water puts stress on them. They need water for photosynthesis. Without it for prolonged periods, that process shuts down and trees stop producing green pigments.
And what that does, it begins to unmask some of the other pigments that are in the leaves, and that's why you'll begin to see sort of this yellow coloration that's occurring.
Foresters at the city of Fredericton are also keeping a close eye on newly planted trees, likely to be extra stressed because of the lack of rain.
We're still hopeful that they'll flush their buds in the spring. Not to say we might not see a little higher mortality.
This forestry expert expects this fall's kaleidoscope of colors to be more muted.
It's unlikely that we'll see beautiful, bright colors that you'd see in an ideal fall.
Either way, she'll make the most of the season like other years.
I mean, if it's muted, then go early in the morning at golden hour.
Her way to appreciate all of autumn's angles. Sarah Plowman, CTV News, Fredericton.
Also known as kitchen helpers or learning towers, toddler towers raise a child to the same height as a table or countertop. The idea is to give kids a boost so they can play, learn, and cook alongside their parents. But as CTV's Pat Foran tells us, they come with some safety concerns.
Yes, it was. Did you guys get all that avocado?
Joey Gollum's daughters love making dinner with their mom thanks to a little boost from a toddler tower.
Having access to cooking with me at my level, and again learning some of those chopping skills, tasting food with me, seeing what I'm doing, mixing things, that was such a special thing for us to share and be able to cook in the kitchen.
With guardrails and other safety features designed to prevent falls, toddler towers are marketed as a safer alternative to a chair or step stool. But reports of kids falling out or tipping over in the towers surfaced both to the Consumer Product Safety Commission and in online reviews.
There's a really wide range of quality in toddler towers on the market, and safety standards have not been established yet for how they're made or tested.
Consumer Reports conducted its own independent tests of 16 popular models, and the results were troubling.
13 of the 16 towers we looked at failed our stability test.
This stability test simulates what happens when a child leans to one side of a tower or climbs up one side. Researchers reached out to the manufacturers. The 6 who responded said their products passed internal safety tests. The test results may sound alarming, but it's important to follow basic safety precautions when using a toddler tower. If you're shopping for one, look for a strong, wide base and a heavy frame with a low center of gravity and movable parts you can't adjust without tools. Avoid large cutouts or wide rails. Kids can get stuck in them. And make sure the top guardrail is above your child's belly button while they're standing on the tower.
Don't let these give you a false sense of security that you can walk away.
Only use the towers on level floors and check the screws and fasteners regularly to make sure they're tight. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Coming up, we are live at the Delnavert Museum. This is a look at the kitchen right now. We're going to talk a little bit more about some of the programming happening there this fall. Stay with us. Time for Let's Celebrate. Let's see who's having a celebration today. Happy birthday to Dill, with love from your parents, siblings, wife, and son Noah. Happy 4th birthday to Kay. Love mom, dad, and your brother. Happy birthday to Daryl with love from your girls and Rocky. Happy 10th birthday to Olivia. Enjoy your day. Love Mom, Dad, and Eddie. And a happy birthday to Jean with lots of love from Gloria, Sylvia, and all your grandchildren and great-grandchildren. If someone you care about is having a birthday, anniversary, retirement, or graduation, let's celebrate. To submit your celebration, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Let's celebrate. Brought to you by Party Stuff. 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca.
On your Tuesday, thank you so much for being with us. We have a lot in the next hour for you, including a catch-up with Mayor Scott Gillingham, who's going to talk about transit as well as crime in our city. And then at 8:45, we're going to hear about a national writing competition, how 4 Winnipeggers have been selected as finalists, and the award show is tonight. So we're going to get details on that, but first, your headlines. Measles outbreak grows. More than 200 cases in Manitoba as schools warn of long absences. Plus, Gaza evacuation. Israel orders residents out as the UN warns of catastrophe. And Canada takes on Wales. Can the red and white score another win on the road? Bringing in Terry now. It's
You mentioned that you're going to be interviewing Mayor Scott Gillingham in a little bit. Do you think he knows that we're wearing our light blue suits today? Do you think he's going to match us?
I'm hoping he shows up with the light blue suit.
Right?
Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be the memo.
We'll see. He's coming at 8:15. We have 15
Or
minutes.
it could be we're the CTV team, so we have to be in our matching kits, right?
Yes, maybe he'll show up in red just to sort of contrast us a little bit. We'll
all right, here's the thing. We're all going to be ditching the jackets later on today because it is going to be so beautiful. It's going to be one of those t-shirt kind of days or flip-flops kind of days. The temperatures will be soaring well above seasonal, and that's going to be the case around the entire province. 10 degrees is where we're sitting right now. Still a little bit of light fog out there. Blue sky above, though. It's starting to look really good, and those southeast winds are very light, just 3 kilometers per hour, with the pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 100%. So yeah, clear no matter where you are across the province today. Northwestern Ontario, you're soaking up the sunshine too. And yes, the above seasonal temperatures, everybody gets to enjoy those today. The couple of clouds that we might be seeing first thing this morning will be clearing as the day goes on, and then mainly sunny conditions throughout the rest of the day. Clear conditions overnight, throughout tomorrow, still plenty of sunshine. Starting to see some precipitation moving into the very northern part of the province. So this actually moves in Wednesday night. That'll continue then through Thursday across parts of northern Manitoba. Thursday here in the south, we're still enjoying the sunshine. However, by Thursday night, there it is looming just south of the border, and we could start to see the precipitation moving in Thursday night. That'll last through Friday. However, even with that precipitation coming, our temperatures, they're remaining well above normal. 19 degrees would be a seasonal daytime high, instead mid-20s, right through that bit of shower activity at the end of the week and sticking around into next week when the sunshine is back again. And our art today, I love this one. So Tatum, 9 years old, drew her favorite cat, Chanel, who, judging by this picture, is a bit of a bird watcher. Thank you for sharing this with us, Tatum, and we'd love to see your art. So please draw, color, paint, sculpt, you name it. Take a picture of your art. Show us what you're working on. Send it to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thanks, Terry. Monday marked the second week of school for many families in the province, but with that return comes concern as measles cases continue to rise, especially in the Southern Health region.
It's really concerning, and I feel like it's something that is so unnecessary, that if people were having their kids vaccinated, that it just wouldn't have to be happening.
Morden resident Lisa Dick says she's worried about the recent rise. She knows people who are immunocompromised, including her friend's 7-year-old son who lives with leukemia. Even though the family is vaccinated, Dick says they worry every time they leave the house about potential exposure. And provincial data shows why. A measles outbreak began in October 2024. On August the 9th, there were 182 cases in Manitoba. By August 30th, that number had climbed to 207.
This is entirely preventable. So this isn't like a normal thing that we should expect to have to be dealing with. Those numbers are continuing to increase as a direct result of low immunization rates.
On September 3rd, the Garden Valley School Division in Winkler sent letters to parents outlining provincial protocols. If a child is exposed, they could be required to stay home for 3 weeks unless they've had at least one vaccine dose. Dr. Singh says the message is clear. Measles cases are spreading across the country, with more than 5,000 cases reported Canada-wide since October 2024. Palestinians in Gaza City are protesting an order from Israel to get out. The order from Israel tells people in Gaza City to leave right away to the nearest humanitarian zone. People in Gaza City now face a difficult choice: head south to areas that are already overcrowded, or stay put and take their chances. Those defying the order say there is no place left to go anyway. Today's morning comes as Israel steps up its military operation in Gaza City. The UN is warning that will lead to catastrophe for Palestinians. Canada's men's national soccer team has another test ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup this afternoon.
Nelson, Segur on the edge of the area. Segur with a strike! It's 3-0 for Canada!
They're in Swansea, taking on Wales this afternoon after beating Romania 3-0 in a friendly on Friday. Wales didn't make Euro 2024, but they were part of the last World Cup in Qatar. This match with Wales is the latest friendly against high-profile opponents. Canada will also face Australia, Colombia, and Ecuador before the end of the year. And here's a look now what's happening along Kenaston Boulevard. It looks like things are moving well over here. We have no issues to tell you about at this point. If you do see any problems out there, though, please let us know. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Delnavert Museum. It's such a beautiful place to explore. Good morning.
Rochelle, Second Saturdays is allowing you to do just that at this historic site. Samantha Machado joins us once again. I love this activity, and it's great for the kids. Can you identify these items? I think I'm going to get them all wrong.
Yeah, well, we can give everyone a second at home to take a look and think about it, but this is one of the ways we activate the house so that you can sort of interact with it. So we got number one here, which is a button hook. So if you had a lot of buttons on your boots or on your fancy dress, you could use that to hook those. Number two looks a little bit like a torture device, but it's actually for curling your hair. And then
isn't that moving on?
Yeah. And then number three here is a butter paddle, and four is the one that most people recognize that you might have used. It's for keeping your clothesline straight.
If I know anything about Manitoba history, it's that they historically have had the best mustaches, and you have an item just for them.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that claim, but if you do have your historically accurate mustache, this is one of our prop objects here, and it's a mustache cup. So we've got this little lip here, which would protect your mustache from the heat of the cup or of the tea, as well as from any loose tea leaves from getting in it.
Are there any written reviews of if it actually worked or not?
I haven't found anything, but I think it would be decently effective. Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to test it out. Cameraman Kenny will have to put his coffee in there later. I love it. You also have a bingo card, and what I love about this too is that it encourages exploration.
Yeah, so the idea with the bingo is that there's a bunch of artifacts on it. You can look around and see what you can see, and you can compete with whoever you're here with to see, oh, I found this first, or the cards are all in different layouts, so I got bingo first. And so one of the objects that's on the bingo is our dinner gong over there, which is a fun artifact that would have been used to let you know that, hey, it's dinner time, so that no one had to shout to let you know about that. You could just ring the gong instead.
Moms at home, this one's for you. Would you purchase a gong instead of shouting? No, it's really interesting. And when is this all happening?
Yeah, so this is all happening this Saturday and the second Saturday of every month.
Thank you. Kids, dinner. Gongs are way louder than you even know.
Yeah, they are.
That's loud.
Absolutely. But they work. All right. Thank you, Ainsley. The Trump administration caught many off guard when it canceled an exemption and started collecting duties on shipments under $800 a little over a week ago. Now we're getting the first signs of how that's impacting Canadian businesses. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
the shipping command center.
From a warehouse in Toronto, Jana Reed sells organic clothes and children's toys that she brings in from Europe. Last year, her business generated $1 million in revenue, but sales to the U.S. are plummeting.
Straight loss of 20 to 25% of our sales are just gone. Just overnight turned off.
Reed stopped selling to American customers after the U.S. removed its de minimis exemption and started charging tariffs on foreign shipments valued at $800 or less.
De minimis, it's a big deal. It's a big scam going on.
In 2024, more than 1.3 billion low-value parcels were shipped to the U.S., with an estimated value of $64 billion. After tariffs took effect on August 29th, postal traffic plunged by more than 80%. Selling to Americans is now bogged down by red tape and not worth the hassle for some.
The paperwork and getting SKUs and tariffs and duties, I don't know. I really don't know. It seems like a lot of effort.
The Trump administration said it changed the policy to stop traffickers from sending illicit drugs through the mail. But trade experts say more targeted action could have been taken.
The United States has additional tools it could use, better screening mechanisms to monitor illegally shipped items. Rather than disrupting a really valuable tool for American consumers and small businesses.
The average American household buys 8 de minimis products a year. Those products will now cost more and take longer to deliver. The tariffs could also impact votes in next year's U.S. midterm elections.
All right, we're looking now through the Bath Fitter Live Eye. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. What a gorgeous morning. Honestly, days like today, it just feels like such a gift. It is so beautiful out there. And in fact, this entire week, you can expect more of the same. These beautiful, lovely mornings and even above seasonal temperatures with plenty of sunshine, at least for a couple of days. It's warming us up already. We went from 10 last hour to 11 degrees here in Winnipeg. Portage sitting there as well. We've got 12 at the moment in the Morden Winkler area and across that eastern border in Kenora. At least everybody is either at seasonal 7 degrees. That's the case over in Pinawa, or even a little bit above that now. And it's only going to continue to warm up through the day. That includes northern Manitoba. Beautiful sunny conditions, double digits for many places. Thompson has gone from 1 degree to 4, so you two are already starting to see some improvements. The satellite image has nothing to show you because it's just so clear and gorgeous. With that sun shining throughout the day today, it's really going to be bringing the heat and barely a breeze. The winds will remain on the lighter side. From 11 degrees now as we send kids off to school to 23 by the time they're coming home again. That's not even our warmest temperature. 24 is where we'll top out, and then even warmer for tomorrow, getting up to 26 degrees. Still Thursday, enjoying that sunshine through the day. By evening time, the showers roll in. Those showers continuing overnight and through Friday, but by then we'll need a little bit of rain. It won't last long. It's starting to taper off and clearing out by the time we're wrapping up the weekend and looking ahead to next week. Plenty of sunshine with these mid-20 temperatures taking us all the way through. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Good morning. The Toronto International Film Festival is in full swing, and on Monday morning, the festival paid tribute to excellence in the Black community during a special brunch. CTV's Andrea Case has the details.
Unbothered, like our ancestors did, still we rise.
The third annual Black Excellence Brunch, held at RBC House and sponsored by Tourism Jamaica, honored those who are making a difference in the film world right here at home. Marsha John Greenwood is the VP of People and Culture for TIFF.
Creating room and space for our communities to come together allows them to, fulfill and ideate and think about the things that they've been had in their head, but can actually share it.
One of those recognized, Planet Africa. 30 years ago, the event, platform, and party was started to give the community a home.
It's everything. As a Black filmmaker, you want to see your peers, you want to celebrate your peers, you want to see your friends, get a chance to just reconnect with them and celebrate, lift them up. So that's why I always come.
Director Hubert Davis's film Youngblood had its world premiere at TIFF on the weekend. The Black Excellence Brunch is a much sought after ticket. It gives people a chance to mix and mingle and have a bit of a party early in the morning. But perhaps the contacts they make, the friendships they build, will lead to work in the industry one day. Andrea Case, CTV News.
With kids and university students back in class, Winnipeg's new transit system is being put to the test. The transit overhaul came in June to improve a service that has been around since the 1950s. The routes are designed as a spine and feeder system, which is meant to speed up and improve the commute for many. So far, riders are mixed when it comes to whether the system is an improvement. Joining us now for our monthly chat is Mayor Scott Gillingham. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now, when this change happened, it was, of course, in June. A lot of students were off. They were enjoying the summer months. But now it's back to business. And we've been receiving reports that some students find that the delays are long. They're waiting long times before the bus arrives. They have to walk greater distances, use more transfers. What's your reaction to that?
Well, first of all, I want to ask anyone who uses transit to please email us and tell us your experience with transit. As you said in your opening, this is the biggest change that transit has made in its 142-year history. And we made the change intentionally at the end of June so that we could kind of begin slowly through the summer months when ridership tends to dip. And now in the fall, with the students going back to school, we need to stress test this system. And so we expect there to be, some things go really well, and we're not surprised when some things need to be adjusted. I think that's the key. We need the feedback from the public to tell us what's going well and what's not going well so that we can make the changes necessary. And there will be changes that come, but ultimately this system is about more frequency, more reliability. And on those main spine routes, those key primary routes, there is a lot more frequency and a lot more kind of regular buses that come through. And we're hearing a lot of positive on that aspect about the new system, but there are some changes that need to be made.
And so you're asking for complaints or, accolades, whichever it is, and so far you're getting some of that response from the public.
We're getting both. On Sunday, I was at 3 events on Sunday and out in the community, and I had people, when I was stopping and talking to them, several of them raised transit with me. Some like aspects of it, others don't. For example, you explained, one university student, one parent of a university student said, used to have one bus that went right to school, now they need a transfer, and so that adds a few minutes to their route, their commute. However, there's more frequency in their commute now with more buses available. So we're going to make some changes down the road. It's going to take some time to adjust, but please send in your information, send in your experience with transit to email it in so we can identify the areas we need to improve.
A report has just come out about Portage and Main and what to do with the circus, the underground concourse, of course. There's many different options. They all cost millions of dollars. What is it? Where are we at right now? What's going to happen at this point?
Well, at this point, the underground is not going to close anytime soon. I think that's important. There's no imminent closure of the underground. What we're going to do next is our staff is recommending that we get another report to outline the details and the cost benefit of the options that are available. Everything from a complete decommissioning to a partial decommissioning to finding a way to either temporarily kind of improve the membrane or reduce the number of leaks there, or to find a way to maybe keep it open long term. And I'm open to keeping it open long term if we can find a cost-effective way to do so that doesn't include ripping up the intersection for construction for years on end. Okay, let's talk about crime. It continues to be a problem. We know that shoplifting is a problem, and there are clues that suggest that it's organized crime, shoplifting. There's people whose eavesdrops were stolen. There's all kinds of arson. There's all kinds of things happening. What is your stance on this, and how do we address crime? It doesn't seem to be going away. Well, first of all, I've been calling for and will continue to call for bail and sentencing reform at the federal level. We need the federal laws and the federal lawmakers. We need the judges and the courts to ultimately determine that the safety of the public takes priority over criminals, that victims get priority over the criminals. One of the things that I've been calling for specifically is that the federal laws change, the bail and sentencing laws will be changed or amended so that judges frankly have less discretion to let repeat violent offenders back out in the streets. When I became mayor, one of the things that I committed to doing, and we did, is we reestablished the joint arrest warrant unit between the Winnipeg Police Service and the RCMP. That was reestablished in 2023, and that goes after violent repeat offenders who are out breaching their court orders. In the 2 years that group has been together, that unit has been together, they've made 700 arrests. That's almost one arrest a day of violent repeat offenders who are in our community breaching their court orders. And so this system is not working. People are losing faith in the justice system. Changes have to take place. At the city, we will do what we can. We're adding more police officers. 36 more police officers are coming on through our budget in the next couple of years. We're adding more community safety officers to focus on transit and fare enforcement. Yep. We just launched that. But the federal government has got to change the laws. We need the province. They've made some changes to add more Crown attorneys. That's good. We need them to keep going because we have to make a safer city, a safer province for everybody.
Mr. Mayor, thanks for your time. And you apparently missed the memo about our matching suits today.
I do have a stripe that's a similar color to yours and Terry's.
There it is, Terry. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
No, stripe doesn't count, but that's okay. Again, as I said, he's not on the CTV team. He's just on the mayor team. A mayor stands alone. All right, out here this morning, I'm standing alone on the rooftop, but I'm not mad about it because honestly, any excuse to get outside, whether alone or in a crowd, I'll take it. So right now, I'm out here alone. That's fine. I'm just happy to be standing here with blue sky above, sun shining over me, soaking up this gorgeous morning. It's 11 degrees right now. Those north winds very light, just 2 clicks. The pressure rising, the humidity at 95%. No, it's not. It's at 99%. I would suggest people get outside and then everybody gets to enjoy this gorgeous weather, whether it be in the morning hours or again into the evening, but even through the peak temperatures, it's going to be warming up, but not shockingly so. It's not going to be one of those scorching hot days. It will be above seasonal, but normals for this time of year would be about 19 degrees. So for us, going above seasonal will put us up into those mid-20s and very pleasant conditions with light winds and blue sky lasting throughout the day, then remaining clear overnight. Tomorrow we do it all over again. Tomorrow might be a couple degrees warmer than today. 24 today, 26 for tomorrow. Thursday still with the sunshine through the daytime, but by Thursday night some showers. That'll continue into Friday, the one day that will likely deal with rain through the week. And then by the weekend it's already tapering off, clearing out with sunshine back and these pleasant temperatures, mid-20s. They're going to last as far as we can see. I love this shot, morning time on the farm out in the Ross area. Thanks to Donnie, who shared his picture of chickens with us. Keep the photos coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Now to an inspiring tale of a young man with Paralympic dreams. He recently had the chance to test his mettle against a Canadian legend of mixed martial arts. CTV's Christine Long finds out how their time together impacted both athletes.
He's 18 and active. William Fleury boxes, does judo and more.
De la boxe, j'ai fait du judo, puis je fais de la natation aussi. Fait du soccer, fait du ski.
Pushing past his physical limitations, which includes visual impairment, William is also learning mixed martial arts. He stepped into the cage with Georges St-Pierre, who is considered one of the best fighters in MMA history.
To
teach him some martial art tricks that he can, use on his own.
Showing William the ropes, St-Pierre and trainer Firas Sahabi revealed their signature moves at TriStar Gym.
For fun, it's a chess game. Combat sport is not only about strength, it's also about how you solve a problem.
This session was set up by the Shine Foundation, a charitable organization that aims to improve the lives of youth living with severe physical disabilities by helping make their dream come true.
On dit toujours de William que c'est notre exemple à suivre.
William's dad says St-Pierre has always been the example to follow. On the big screen and certainly on the mat, St-Pierre is incredibly tough, but says meetings like this are win-win.
Sometimes we take health for granted, but when I meet people like him that struggle every day, you know, and makes me appreciate life, so it's good for me as well.
And it certainly inspired William to keep at his Paralympic dream. Christine Long, CTV News.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Good morning. Pura Syndrome is a rare genetic disorder. It's so rare, in fact, there are only 2 children in Manitoba living with it. 4.5-year-old Jacob Aurora from Steinbach is one of those children. Joining us now is Jacob Aurora and her mom, Elizabeth Siebrecht. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, she's 4.5 years old. When did you know that she had Pura Syndrome?
When she was 2.5, we finally had her official diagnosis.
Okay, so what were her symptoms at that time?
Jacob Aurora was not mobile. She couldn't walk. She couldn't, well, she still can't talk. Okay. She had like a couple of seizures. Oh, okay. And we had to live at Ronald McDonald House for a year. And it took us like a full year to
figure it out.
Yeah.
Because
for an official diagnosis, yeah.
So what is the condition exactly? What does it do?
Pura Syndrome has a lot of its complications. She has to see a lot of specialists within the Children's Hospital, genetics, speech, neurology, physiotherapy, occupational therapy.
So it's a lot.
Yes.
And you have to drive to Winnipeg every single day,
yes.
Either for treatments at the hospital, which is about 2 to 3 times a week, and then you also go for therapy. What kind of therapy are you getting?
Educational therapy for Jacob to help her with her speech.
Okay.
From Monday to Friday.
What do you think of my pen? You like
Along
it?
with the services at Sky Center and Children's Hospital.
But you've encountered a problem because you were getting some funding for some of this therapy through the Jordan's Principle funding, right? But what happened with that?
Since the changes with Jordan's Principle, there's been lack of funding, and there's been lack of funding across Canada, right. So we don't have any funding at this time.
So if she doesn't get this therapy, if she doesn't get the treatment she needs, what will happen to her?
If she doesn't get the treatment, there could be complications with her speech and her mobility and her sensory.
Yeah.
Occupational therapy is one of our main right. services.
So we're almost out of time already. It's obvious that you need some support. What are you asking the community to do to help you out?
Basically, we were faced with a hurdle, and we had some complications with our vehicle to commute back and forth from Winnipeg, so we made a GoFundMe account, which you can help to donate to help Miss Aurora with her milestones.
Yes. And absolutely, we will definitely have more information on our website as well on how you can support this family. Thank you to both of you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you for coming. All right, it's 11 degrees right now. Plenty of sunshine out there. Beautiful start to your morning, and the wind's very light. They're out of the north right now. The pressure is rising. The humidity sitting at 99%. And that blue sky and sunshine, you're going to notice that no matter where you are in the province today. Parts of northwestern Ontario will also be seeing that. And along with the gorgeous conditions come the really nice temperatures too. 24 degrees is where we're headed today. You remember last week. I mean, everybody remembers last week when we were thinking, is it basically fall already? Nope, we're getting a nice last blast of extended summer with these really nice temperatures. Some areas still might notice a little bit of that low-level fog in the outlying areas, but it's already beginning to burn off, and then mainly sunny conditions expected through the day with winds out of the northeast remaining on the lighter side. From 24 today will drop to 9 degrees overnight. 7 would be a seasonal low temperature, so again will remain above normal even in the overnight hours with clear conditions and very light winds still extended into tomorrow. The sunshine will be back again. Temperatures could be even warmer yet, up to 26 degrees with a shift in those winds out of the southeast, but still remaining very light. Now Thursday, we're still likely to enjoy a fair bit of sunshine through the day. It's Thursday evening that we do have the possibility of some showers rolling through. From there, those showers continuing through Friday, but still with these mid-20 temperatures. Now, while southern Manitoba won't see those showers till Thursday night, parts of northern Manitoba might see them throughout the day on Thursday, maybe even moving in Wednesday night, in fact, so a little bit sooner with the precipitation up north. Here, it'll take us through Friday, but tapering off for Saturday. A few extra clouds, but even those clouds clearing out and those temperatures remaining very pleasant as we're looking ahead into the start of next week.
Thank you, Terry. The lawyer for former fashion mogul Peter Nygard says the charges against him in Winnipeg should be dismissed. In court, defense lawyer Jerry Wiebe argued police failed to keep records from the complainant's first interaction with officers nearly 30 years ago. Nygard was charged in 2023 with sexual assault and unlawful confinement after allegations tied to a 1993 incident at a Winnipeg warehouse. Wiebe told the judge the missing documents undermine her client's right to a fair trial. The court has not yet ruled on the request to dismiss the case. The self-proclaimed Queen of Canada is being released from custody after a bail hearing in a Saskatchewan court Monday, but the judge has imposed some conditions.
Certainly our concern was that she knew what the conditions are and that she'd be willing to abide by those conditions, and that was something that the court went through.
50-year-old Romana Didulo must remain at a Regina home and steer clear of Richmond, where her so-called Kingdom of Canada compound was located. RCMP raided it last week and made several arrests. Didulo is charged with breaching a court order and attempting to intimidate a justice system participant. Didulo is a conspiracy theorist who has threatened to kill opponents, says she has communicated with aliens, and is funded by many followers. She will be back in court next Wednesday. Apple will unveil its next lineup of iPhones today, but this one is happening during a global trade war that's added a potential price increase. The new iPhones will be the first to be released with U.S. President Donald Trump in the White House and under a slew of tariffs. Trump and the U.S. Commerce Secretary have been pushing for iPhones to be made in America, but these new ones will continue to be made in Apple's manufacturing hubs in China and India. This unused water tower has a new purpose. The tower in Australia was taken out of service more than 60 years ago. It briefly reopened as a show repair shop. Now it's open once again as a bookstore. Its now owner says she liked the quirky space and she plans to match the vibe with an eclectic selection of books. Some colleges in the U.S. have gone to the dogs. Yes, canines are on campus are becoming more common, and service dogs are only part of the plethora of pups and other pets, both furry and scaly. Gio Benitez of ABC has more.
Some colleges have gone to the dogs.
See? Good boy.
Federal law requires colleges to allow service animals, but a growing number of universities are admitting pets. From Stevens College in Missouri to Stetson University in Florida.
I'm very popular among my friends.
And not just cats and dogs, we're talking critters like pot-bellied pigs and even bearded dragons. Eckerd College in St. Petersburg, Florida allows students to bring their non-venomous, non-disruptive family pets to live with them after the first semester.
Zuko spin.
Zuko belongs to 21-year-old Eckerd senior Sophia Nocera. Zuko, a 7-year-old border collie, lives in Sophia's room in a special pet dorm, along with her panther chameleon, Darwin.
The best thing is that he just keeps me motivated. With him here, I have a set routine, waking up at 7 every morning, getting a walk in, walking throughout the day.
I think pets are such a part of our lives, and it brings a lot to campus. It offers a lot of support for students. The overwhelming majority just love seeing them around.
Zuko has helped Sophia meet people on campus and provided emotional support too.
I think Zuko keeps me grounded. I could be having the worst day ever. I could have failed a test, but I can come home and give my dog a hug.
Of course, balancing pets and school is not for everyone.
Having a pet on campus as a college student is a big responsibility that not everyone can handle, and that's totally okay.
For those who can, there's even a bona fide graduation ceremony at Eckerd for the paws and the claws.
And we have a traffic tip to share now with you. All westbound lanes of Redwood Avenue from Charles Street to Salter are closed today for sewer work. The closure lasts until 9 p.m. this evening. If you have any other traffic tips to share with us, please go to our X page, CTV Morning WPG. And here's a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.42. The provincial average is $1.37. In Winnipeg, the average is also $1.37. The lowest price in the city, $1.26. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who is now standing outside the Delnavert Museum. It's a beautiful morning. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. Shout out to the volunteer gardening team because, wow, it is so stunning. What a great day for a walk here in downtown Winnipeg. Samantha's joining us, and there's an opportunity for people to take it in themselves.
Yeah, so this Saturday is Second Saturday, presented by Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries, and it's your opportunity to come and see the historic house for free. And you can also, while you're here, take a look at our heritage gardens, which, as you mentioned, are maintained by a team of our dedicated volunteers in the sort of late Victorian, early Edwardian style.
What does it take to maintain something like this? There's also something special with the plants you were telling me about.
Yeah, so it's a lot of hard work and planning. A lot of the plants that you're going to see in our garden are heritage plants, so they're seeds that might have been grown around the time period that Delnavert existed in its prime. And our garden team, they meet primarily in the summer to actually maintain the garden, but they are also around year-round planning and thinking about what they're going to put in so that it looks amazing like it does.
There's also an opportunity, too, for people to take advantage of activities outside the house.
Yeah, so we like to use all of our spaces in a variety of ways, and outside here on the lawn, we do things like lawn games. So we have croquet, we'll do ring toss, cornhole, we've played marbles out on the lawn. Anything that's sort of historical or at least entertaining that you can do out here, we've tried to do.
And hey, it's Manitoba. It's free, so why should people come to this?
Yeah, you should definitely come on out to get a chance to experience history come to life and to get to see the museum for free, and also to explore and enjoy our local history.
Spooky history too, but I think I'm getting ahead of myself going into October.
Yeah, a little bit, but save the date for the second Saturday in October, which is going to be Spooky Second Saturday as well. Keep an eye out on our social media for when we announce our Halloween programming lineup.
Perfect. And get your costume ready for that one too, because you're going to be encouraged to. Sorry, there's still that one final mosquito, Rochelle, in Manitoba for the summer.
Absolutely.
Found me.
Well, thank you. And out on the rooftop now, you need a little breeze to get rid of those mosquitoes.
Yeah, but there's no breeze today, like no wind whatsoever. And I'm checking out the wind. I'm not checking them out, but I'm just noticing the window washers who are back again. I guess they didn't finish the job yesterday in the Manitoba Hydro building. And I told them to cut it out yesterday because there was that possibility of precipitation. I don't think we ended up seeing much rain. According to my rain gauge, we did. In some parts of the province maybe did. Some parts of the city maybe did. But yeah, they're back there today with a far more pleasant day ahead for window washing or just getting outside to enjoy the gorgeous weather. It's 11 degrees right now with a 2K wind out of the north. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 99%. The sun is shining. What a beautiful way to be kicking off the day. And that's the case throughout the entire province. Might still see a little bit of that lingering fog in some places, but it won't be long before that burns off entirely, and then nothing but sunshine to enjoy. And soaring temperatures today, no matter where you are in the province, likely to get above seasonal. A normal daytime highs here in the south will be about 19 degrees. Instead, we're headed up into the mid-20s here in the northeast. The northwest could even be up in the high 20s today. And we might be a couple degrees warmer for tomorrow with the beautiful, clear, sunny conditions expected to last for another day or two. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Good morning, it's 8:45. A team of health professionals is calling for a national action plan to address sepsis. As CTV's Adrian Gobriel reports, many doctors and nurses may not be prepared to deal with it.
A sudden silent killer that some doctors and nurses in Canada are ill-prepared to diagnose.
Every physician completing their training in Canada needs to know what sepsis is, and presently that's not the case.
Sepsis can occur when the body's immune system is attempting to fight off an infection, which triggers a reaction that can lead to severe organ damage and even death.
Someone can go from being okay to really sick in a matter of minutes.
In 2020, a report estimated that 75,000 cases of sepsis occur in Canada, leading to roughly 18,000 deaths on average each year. In recent months, CTV News has sat down with two husbands who each lost their wife after they gave birth at separate Ontario hospitals. In both cases, the cause of death was linked to sepsis.
How do you tell your 4-year-old girls that they're never going to see mommy again?
We begged for help. Sepsis is a race against time. But doctors never started the clock.
Critical care Dr. Callie Barrett is one of the authors of this peer-reviewed research paper that reveals significant gaps in sepsis policy, guidelines, and health professional training standards, and outlines the urgent need for a coordinated sepsis national action plan. Dr. Barrett is one of many now calling on the federal government to work with provinces in the race to save lives.
My fear is that we're going to continue to have these stories in the media about tragedies where people have unnecessarily died from a potentially preventable sepsis death.
CTV News asked Health Canada if they're open to standardizing sepsis detection guidelines across the country. In an email, they replied in part that policies related to the prevention and control of infectious diseases contribute to the reduction of sepsis. Dr. Barrett and her team are also urging Canadians to know the signs of sepsis. If you're at home feeling unwell and are unusually drowsy, you may need to head to a hospital immediately. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
4 Winnipeg high school students have been selected as finalists in a national writing competition. The competition encouraged students to write and illustrate a children's book on inclusion and diversity. And the Diverse Minds National Awards ceremony is happening in Winnipeg tonight. Joining us now is the Regional Director, Manitoba, of B'nai B'rith Canada, Ruth Ashrafi. Good morning, Ruth.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, this is incredible. 4 in Winnipeg have been selected. Why do you think we do so well here in Winnipeg?
Well, this contest has been going on since 2019, and I can say Winnipeggers are always really well represented in the books that make it to the finals. And I have come to the conclusion that many people in Winnipeg are overachievers.
I love that. So how does the writing competition work exactly?
The writing competition is as follows. You have to be a high school student, so you have to be in grades 9 or through 12, and then you have to compose an original children's book on the themes of diversity and inclusion, and you also need to illustrate the book. And then you submit the book online, and then there is a panel of judges that looks through the submissions, and they select 5 books, 5 submissions that will make it to the finals.
How many people submitted a submission?
Around 150.
Wow.
And it's a national contest, so it is from all over Canada, but as I say, Winnipeg is always really well represented.
That's cool.
And makes it to the finals.
Okay, so 4 Winnipeggers will find out today whether or not they're the winners, and you have example of past winners here. What happens if they win? They get a book made like this?
When they win, we print our book in hardcover, and then we print about 1,000 copies of them, and then we distribute it among schools in Winnipeg and in Manitoba, and also in other parts of the country, and also through several programs in the north of Manitoba.
These books are incredible. Tell us about the 3 books we have here.
Okay, so
these are past winners.
Yes, so this book over here.
This one here, yeah.
That one. It is written by Sam Mercier, and the name is Yes, I Can. So Sam has autism, and he's struggling with that, and he wrote a book about that. So he focuses on all the things that he can do. That's why the book is called Yes, I Can. So he says, this is what I can do, that is what I can do, and that is what I can do. And then he says, and these are the things that I am struggling with because I have autism. So he explains that it is difficult for him to hear loud sounds, or when it gets there are too many people in the room, he gets a little bit uncomfortable. And then he says, but if you do this and this, then I will really feel comfortable.
Aww.
It is a fabulous book.
Illustrated by him as well, which is
illustrated
incredible.
by him. He made the story himself. He did the illustrations. It's an amazing book.
We're almost out of time already. The winners will be announced tonight. Hopefully you can bring them back and they can show off their stories. That would be wonderful. Ruth, thank you for sharing this with us.
Thank you for
Again,
having me.
Diverse Minds, if you're looking for more information, we have a link on our website. Thank you.
All right, 11 degrees is where we're sitting right now with winds out of the north. They're on the lighter side, though. They're only 2 kilometers per hour right now, and that sun, oh my goodness, it looks so gorgeous out here. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 99%, and honestly, no matter where you go, you could be anywhere in Manitoba and you're soaking up the sunshine. You could be anywhere in northwestern Ontario and you're soaking up the sunshine. You could be off to the west in Saskatchewan and you're soaking up the sunshine. Everybody has beautiful conditions to enjoy and above seasonal temperatures to go along with that. 10 degrees expected in Churchill. That'll be one of the coolest places today, just barely in the double digits, but everybody else in the northeast will be pushing up into those mid-teens. And again, nothing but clear sky. Light winds are expected as well. And then even these above seasonal temperatures as you're pushing up into the low 20s throughout parts of the northwest. High 20s for southwestern Manitoba. Just for a reference point, 19 degrees. That would be a normal daytime high. And then over here in southeastern Manitoba, mid-20s, very pleasant conditions. Further east of us, low 20s, not bad at all. Still a beautiful day to enjoy. And again, well above what you would expect for this time of year. And it's not just for today, the rest of this week and even into the start of next week, we remain above seasonal with sunshine for the next few days, showers overnight Thursday. That'll continue through Friday, but it won't last throughout the weekend. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center.
Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, hang on, sorry, no big deal, but it's just Rochelle and I giving you what you've been waiting all show for, a side-by-side in our matching outfits.
For matching. But before we send you off, we're going to show you some fun video other than this. A little confidence boost sure can go a long way.
Today, handsome, handsome boy. Can I get a smile? Oh, is that a wig? Is that a wig?
This boy shows off his outfit every day, and his mom hypes him up before he heads to school. He starts off shy, but comes out of his shell and even gives a wink. Look at this little guy. He's a cutie.
You know what would have been cuter? A light blue suit.
Well, this dad often gets told he's overprotective. What do you think, Terry? He may be a girl dad, but these kids can get pretty rowdy in their bouncy house. It looks like a crazy party in there. Yep, this is what happens to our show after we say goodbye.
Yeah, he's not just hovering, he's just jealous. He's like, I want into that.
He wants to get in there. And then finally, you may think you know what our world looks like, but did you know it's all an optical illusion?
Every world map you've ever seen is lying to you. Canada appears to be one of the world's largest countries, and it is, but not as huge as maps make it seem. Move it to the equator, and it shrinks dramatically.
Oh my goodness, maps flatten the Earth's spherical surface onto a 2D plane, which is mathematically impossible without some distortion. So some things near the North and South poles look way bigger than they are in reality.
Interesting.
I don't know if I get it.
Not as interesting as our suits.
Look at us.
Look at how cute we are.
That does it for us. See you tomorrow.